and New England. Travel in style with transportation, pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the Birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly, the official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles radio network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a P of Philly.com.
MLBshop.com has everything you need to rep the team you believe in, the players you love, and the community you come from. So snag all those hoodies, caps, jerseys, and swag, and wear your pride with style at home, on the streets, and wherever you go. And with exclusive offers every day, you can unapologetically strut your stuff for a price you love as much as your team. Visit MLBshop.com, the official online shop of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
For over a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. More than 80 million listeners depend on AM radio each month. It's also the backbone of the emergency alert system, keeping us safe in dangerous times. A new bill in Congress would ensure this free, reliable service remains in cars. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM radio for every vehicle act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Police say a man's body was pulled from the Delaware River Sunday night. President Biden will designate a national monument honoring Emmett Till and his mother, Mamie Till Mobley. Barbie boasts the biggest box office opening of 2023, making $155 million this weekend.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hire comedian Joe Conklin for corporate events, golf outings, and private parties.
Yo, this is Tom Sapwager from Shriners Tree Care out in King of Prussia. We had Joe Conklin. We did not stop laughing for the whole show.
Hey, this is George Wolf. We've had Joe Conklin at our events for the last 3 years. People keep coming back in droves.
Hi, this is Al Morgani from the Dave the Geese Foundation in Medford. We hired Joe Conklin. He arrived drunk, and things went downhill from there.
Hire Joe Conklin for your next event. Go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go. Live on this Monday, July 24th. It is indeed Kayal and Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are always live on the free Odyssey app and streaming live on YouTube for your video viewing pleasure as we head until 10 o'clock this morning. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. Twitter and Instagram, the radio station at 1210 WPHT. I am at Nick Kayal, Kayal. Dawn Stenslin with the news. Greg Stocker, the chairman of the board. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Dorenzo, our associate producers. So did anything happen yesterday in the city of Philadelphia through New Jersey and on down to Atlantic City? I was out of commission for a while.
You did it!
Oh, that's right. I
Congratulations.
did.
Wow.
I did.
Look at you.
At Nick-Kale on Venmo. Pay your debts, you leeches. Uh-huh. Dawn, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great.
Gregory.
Oh, man. I'm so proud of you, pal. So proud of you.
Pink eye gone for you, by the way?
Yes. Thank you for asking.
All right, good.
Children are disgusting.
Yes. They absolutely are.
Whoever told me it was a good idea to have one, damn you.
I know. And whoever told me that the bike ride was going to be difficult, you are correct. It is very difficult.
Right?
It is difficult.
But you did it.
Yes. Yesterday was interesting. You know, we had so many great people, so many great causes. There were so many people there for, first responders in police or fire or EMS. We had a great national anthem right before we started the ride where everybody took their helmet off, put their hand over their chest, and kind of mumbled the words and sang along, unlike the United States women's national soccer team, because we're not losers. And it was great. We had, 4 hours and 56 minutes it took us to complete the ride, myself and Dave Madden. Went about 13.1 miles per hour, which was much better than the 9.7 miles per hour I was averaging in the training sessions. And once we got to Atlantic City, those last 2 or 3 miles when you can see the skyline of the casinos and everything, start smelling the salt water, you think you're there. Those last 2 miles feels like 35 minutes.
It is the worst. You just want to get there. You just want to get there. You're like, oh, I can see it. We're here. And then you're not.
Yes.
And you have to drive on the shoulder of the expressway almost.
Yep.
And it's just like, you're like, am I going to die doing this?
I know. Police escort, though, for most of the way down. I mean, really good, well organized. So I got to thank Dave Madden for the training, Wayne for the bike. Mark was fantastic, and Families Behind the Badge as a organization, just first class. I've never done one of these rides before, but I can't imagine it being more first class when you take part in it, and also when you get to the finish line. Wawa catering everything.
Yep.
I mean, it was great.
Well, the YouTube chat is already hot and heavy this morning, and everybody is very impressed that you made it in this. Oh, I see. Okay.
You see
okay, I see.
It's like a gold medal in the Olympics.
He has a gold medal. If you're look, I didn't even look. I'm looking at my monitor now, and I see you with the medal.
That's right, baby.
He has a medal, Dawn, for finishing.
Everybody gets a trophy.
For finishing in 5 hours. So, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You did way better than I did.
Dave Madden was stunned. He thought it was going to take me all of 6 hours. I got done in less than 5.
I can't believe you're wearing your medal.
Damn right.
Like Kurt Angle.
I did. I'm an Olympic hero.
It's true. It's true. Damn true.
It's damn true, folks.
It's like a kid on show and tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Right?
Exactly. We need to, if you're listening or if you're watching now on YouTube, we need to find a way to pan down. Oh, well, I guess we can't because of the.
You guys can only go so low on me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I see. Yeah. But there's a reason we can't go down any lower.
Right. And I'm actually going to take the medal off now because I'm so sore that this is hurting wearing around my neck.
Are you sore?
I'm sore as hell.
Yeah.
Yes. Very sore.
Advil, bourbon.
No, I just pounded waters when I got home. Okay. I drank like another 100 ounces of water and took 2 Tylenol.
That's good for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, we got a lot of good stuff to get to this morning. Thank you.
By the way,
thank you.
$18,000 I think we raised.
We were getting donations last night after the ride was over.
$18,000. $18,000.
You can still donate.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Families Behind the Badge or GregStockerStocks.com.
Yeah.
Just go there. I told Mark next year if we have a 4-month lead up like another Fugazi radio station here did, we'll leave them in the dust.
That's correct. So get ready, folks. Set your calendar. April 1st, 2024. Stalker starts pandering. Round 2, baby.
Yeah, baby.
All right, big take is coming up on Jason Aldean in just a couple of minutes, but let's get to all of the important news. Round number 1 of the day, the great Dawn Stenzel on Monday at 6:07.
Yes, and good morning this Monday, July 24th, 71 degrees. I'll tell you when the heat wave will begin in Philadelphia. So several Philadelphia police officers were injured yesterday while trying to break up a large crowd of hundreds. This from police, and the Fraternal Order of Police say about 500 people gathering there in the 1300 block of Broad Street in North Philadelphia. So the residents in the area were calling 911, saying this was extremely loud and extremely disruptive. So they called police. Many 911 calls coming in, and many people saying that among the 500 estimated people gathering, some of them middle school age kids, not just high school and teens, but middle schoolers. So a lot of concern about these kids. Where were their parents? Police saying the gathering blocked the roadway, so police were called in amid all those 911 calls to, at the very least, clear the roadway for safety reasons. Ultimately, these 2 officers were injured. One of them, a vehicle just struck him, tried to run him over, broke his ankle. The officers are, according to, by all accounts, one of the officers in severe pain this morning and recovering from this situation. So Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney did respond last night, saying that he wishes all of these officers who were injured a speedy recovery.
Oh, it's nice of Jim.
It was nice. It was.
Nice of Jim.
Give credit, right? Where credit's due.
We got 11 and 12-year-olds gathering now for these things. Where the hell are their parents? That's a great question.
Middle school age.
Yeah, middle school. Terrible.
My goodness. So that remains under investigation. We also have family and friends, as well as residents, gathering at the 9/11 Memorial Garden of Reflection in Bucks County yesterday, mourning 6 people who lost their lives in last week's severe flooding, that flash flooding. And they also honored little Conrad Shields. He's the 9-month-old baby boy who remains missing after that flood as those waters swept away members of his South Carolina family. His mother, the body of his 2-year-old sister, Maddie, was found on Friday. That announcement on Friday. So this is Upper Makefield Township. Hundreds of people have been involved in the search and rescue efforts for the missing boy. And as well, they did find his sister, as I say, on Friday. So they deployed canine units, sonar, drones, divers, and much more during this very intense operation. Family members speaking out during this very emotional service, as you can imagine, last night. They say that once weather conditions permit it, divers will search the latest location as water levels recede. They're going to search for little Conrad in the surrounding area there.
Yeah, I saw Friday night when I signed off on Twitter for the night that they found the 2-year-old in the river, but at that point they didn't know for sure if it was that girl.
So they confirmed, they confirmed it was Matilda. They called her
awful.
Maddie, I know, in the Delaware River. Oh. Now, down the Jersey Shore, speaking of water, climate experts tracking record-breaking water temperatures down the shore this summer. The result, they say, of a marine heat wave. And in Atlantic City this month, they say so far, the water has consistently been up 3 degrees higher than average for the month of July. So it's now 72.1 degrees. Usually this time of year, it's 68.9. So warmer waves down the shore.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which could mean sharks. Don't
Yes.
Sharks, aren't they attracted to the warmer?
Yeah, apparently they're attracted to cocaine as well. We've got cocaine sharks down in Florida now.
Cocaine sharks.
Yeah.
Cocaine sharks.
Gonna have to call in Quint to kill it.
They don't like crack, just cocaine.
That's right. I think we call that the hunter hammerhead shark. See what I did there?
The hunter hammerhead.
Yeah, a little play on stories. Yeah.
Well, we've got our Phillies, woohoo, winning 8-5. And Bryce Harper, some excitement with Bryce Harper, driving in the go-ahead run, 10th inning single, flashing more solid defense in his second career start at first base, leading our Phils past the Cleveland Guardians. Still weird saying Guardians. Cleveland Guardians. So 8-5 Sunday yesterday to avoid a 3-gap sweep.
Did you see his first game Friday night? He was like a foul ball down the first baseline, and he's playing first base for the first time.
Yeah.
And he leans over and dives into the little camera area where all the media people are. Lands on his face and on his back, and everyone's losing their mind. Bryce, it's a foul ball. Just let it go. We can't afford you to be hurt again.
I know. Can you imagine?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
He's wearing his medal today, too.
He should.
He did well.
Yes.
He did us well, right?
Yeah, correct.
NBC 10 first alert forecast this morning. So overnight we were in the 60s and looking just fine. Right now we've risen to 73 degrees. The heat wave does not come until midweek. So we're at 86 degrees today. Thunderstorms possible after 9 o'clock this morning. We'll see some gusty winds and maybe small hail possible between 9 and 10 a.m. And then the sun comes back out. But moving through this week, it looks like 86 degrees today. Tomorrow, much of the same, 88 with that chance, that possibility of some storms just moving through, not a washout or anything of that nature. And then we begin the heat up. Wednesday, 92. By Thursday, we're looking 95. And by Friday, 97 degrees. So we're looking toward the end of the week, Thursday into Friday. It'll feel like 100 degrees by Friday. And then the weekend, we level out 90 degrees for Saturday, 87 for Sunday. But late this week, they're already giving people a heads up, especially if you work outdoors. You want to play it safe with that heat wave on the way. That's the NBC 10 First Alert Forecast. This is the first edition, Kayal and Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 6:13 Monday morning. We start another week with another Big Take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
All right, the Big Take this morning, Aldean all the time, as Try That in a Small Town goes big time. Midweek last week, CMT decided to cancel Jason Aldean's Try That in a Small Town single, and it was easily the #1 story in the music world. But as we come out here for another week of Kayal and Company, this story hasn't died down one bit. In fact, you could argue it has become the #1 story in all of news media, as we have plenty of fallout from the weekend. You might say this is on the verge of becoming a Bud Light story in regards to the coverage it's getting and the lasting power it may have. Jason Aldean was performing a concert in Cincinnati this weekend, and he refuses to back down to the media outrage, and he tells his crowd what he is all about. Take a listen.
Here's one thing I feel. I feel like everybody's entitled to their opinion. You can think something all you want to. It doesn't mean it's true, right? So what I am is a proud American. I'm proud to be from here. I love our country. I want to see it restored to what it once was before all this bull started happening to us. I love my country, I love my family, and I will do anything to protect that. I can tell you that right now.
Sounds like he wants to make America great again. And good for him for telling the world that he is a proud American, which according to the left these days is a crime. Now, after chants of USA, USA, USA died down, Aldean offered more. Here's part 2 of Aldean talking about the cancel culture movement and how he won't be silenced by the faux woke outrage. Take a listen.
Here's what I want to say. A lot of things out there, and one thing I love, you guys know how it is this day and age, cancel culture is a thing. That's something that if people don't like what you say, they try and make sure that they can cancel you, which means try and ruin your life, ruin everything. One thing I saw this week was a bunch of country music fans that could see through a lot of the bullshit, all right?
Cancel culture, censorship, silencing others. Sounds a lot like Friday's big take on what the left has tried to do to one of their own in Democrat RFK Jr. See, woke will eat woke. They will devour everything and anything they can, and it doesn't matter what side you are on. If there's disagreement, they will attempt to place consequences upon your actions. Except, once again, they picked the wrong battle. Jason Aldean has once again risen to number 1, and it's a song that has been out since May. But it took all of the snowflake outrage to have common sense free speech Americans to rally around a cause and flex their commercial power. Aldean won't stand for riots, and he won't stand for any of that result in the loss of life. And one person who knows that all too well is retired police sergeant Ann Dorn, whose husband David was killed in St. Louis during the 2020 BLM riots. And she wishes that there was more small-town-minded people around the night her husband was murdered, saying, quote, "There's a lot of disrespect now, and there's no sense of community. And people don't stand up for their community," she said. They don't stop these things that happen in a small town. Just like Jason says in his song, you're not going to do that here. The community's not going to stand for it. Quote, "I just watched the video today, and it speaks of small town values. It speaks of community values. It speaks of standing up for ourselves. When did it become illegal in the United States of America for us to stand up for ourselves? That's our given rights to protect ourselves, our life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." And to all the people that criticize that, you know, when he puts in a song, that's basically what he's saying, Dorn continued. Quote, "It's a sense of community. It's a sense of neighborhood. It's a sense of taking care of each other, and we've gotten so far away from that it's actually very scary. The police stand between the criminals and the citizens. You know, they're there to protect them, and for the police to be disrespected like they are, and the police need the community behind them to help them. And when you are a really good sense of community and you have that, and the neighbors and your community stand against this tyranny and against these terroristic acts that are happening in the U.S., you know, it's all about accountability. You're holding your government accountable. Your citizens are more accountable. Everything is just more accountable along the lines of common decency." End quote from Ms. Dorn. The attempt to cancel country music star Jason Aldean over the recently released video of his song, "Try That in a Small Town," appears to actually be giving him a profitable boost. Billboard charts reported last night that he remains number 1 in the United States on iTunes. And speaking of his fans, here are some of his fans prior to this weekend's show sounding off. Listen.
Everyone's sensitive nowadays. That's all I gotta say. Everyone takes everything so personal, and it's just like so dumb. I don't know.
Everyone does take a lot of things personal. It's kind of, it's very upsetting because, I mean, that was his song. He wrote it.
It's bullshit. Look at all the rap music. I mean, come on. Rap can say anything they want to say and do anything they want to do, but when it comes to the good guys, everybody wants to bash him.
I don't get offended by things like that, so I don't think that there was anything wrong with it. I think he was trying to express, just like anybody else would express something because it was a good old country boy. Everybody's all upset about it.
You don't have to be racist or all the things that have happened in the past, the videos that he played. I think he's talking just about like being American and loving our country and being free and protecting the community that you grew up in and the people that you love. So, and the people who have built businesses, that takes a lot of money and time, and for people just to go in and kind of wreck it, I think that's kind of what he was addressing more, like don't do that in my town or we're going to have an issue.
That audio and video courtesy of Fox News. And maybe, just maybe, one day, we will have citizens of the far left who condemn riots and back the police, respect small businesses and corporate businesses. They don't loot, vandalize, burn buildings down, and disrespect the flag. And if that day comes, maybe Jason Aldean will have another hit single, perhaps called You Won't Even Try That in a Big Town. And that's the Big Take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
All right, Big Take this morning. If you want to jump in, thoughts, comments, reaction, 855-839-1210, the phone number, Twitter and Instagram at 1210WPHT. And, of course, you can be a part of the Kayal and Company comment community on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Hit the subscribe and like buttons. I'm sure Stalker will start pandering for 5,000 subscribers in a matter of minutes this morning. We'll come back and get your thoughts. Kayal and Company live on this Monday morning. Nick, Dawn, and Greg. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Late night decisions aren't my strength. I could do another episode. I should check out that noise coming from the woods. Let's get tattoos! But one call that never fails is Wendy's, where every burger starts with fresh beef. Unlike my ankle dolphin, I never regret a Baconator. Have a good bite. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's late night.
Hours may vary. Fresh beef available in contiguous North America.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the new electric XC40 lease for as low as $487. An absolutely fabulous offer, $487. No sales tax for New Jersey residents. Monies due at signing are license fees and the first month's payment only. This is an incredible offer. Considering the electric XC40, now is the time. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo online or in person for a great selection. Our team looks forward to seeing you very soon.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And you know, doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to him, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM. a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Don't miss Good News in Real Estate with Deanne Katsaros and Mark Cumberland, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Find out all you need to know about home buying and selling. Considering a career in real estate? Visit PhiladelphiaRealEstateClasses.com. Good News in Real Estate, Saturdays 1 p.m. on WPHT.
Beach or barbecue. Listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT anywhere. Just download the free Odyssey app. AUDACY.
.625 Monday morning. It is Kayal and Company. Beach or barbecue. Both would have felt a lot better yesterday than pedaling to Atlantic City. I see a lot of people in the chat this morning talking about it, and on YouTube, I think it's ipso facto that said, is that the real Nick in studio, or is that the AI version of Nick? No, it's the real Nick this morning.
Yeah.
I am not artificially enhanced in any way this morning. Although by the time I get home this morning around 10:45, I might just crash for about 5 straight hours. I think I'm still running on adrenaline.
I told you could have had today off if you wanted it.
Nope, feel good. Feel good. Got a little excess sun, too. I'm a little burned.
Uh-oh.
I had to bust out the aloe last night, Dawn. Big old bottle of aloe vera.
Oh, bottle.
Yeah.
I have an aloe plant.
Do you really?
Yeah, you want the plant?
Yeah.
It's like the real thing.
Yeah. Hook me up during the break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 855-839-1210.
We're very proud of you. A lot of praise.
I'm sore.
Everybody, I knew you'd do it.
Yeah,
No,
I never had a doubt that I would finish from the standpoint of not being able to get through it, like conditioning. I just thought my extremities would kill me, my butt, my wrists, all that stuff, which they are killing me this morning, by the way.
Your butt, too?
Yeah,
Did you Vaseline up?
I did.
See?
Multiple times.
See?
Yep. Second pit stop, and then before I got out of my truck in the morning. So that was good. That was good. And I took advice, and I adhered to it, and everything panned out just fine. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on Jason Aldean from the weekend, because this is, and let me get Stocker's thoughts first, because, Greg, you did nail this. You said on Wednesday that CMT canceling Jason Aldean will make him go #1, and he's just obliterating the charts right now. Like, this song is being consumed. And, it had been out for a couple of months. It's not like this is brand new.
Yeah, you tell people they can't listen to something, watch something, do something. They want to do it more.
Mm-hmm.
Vivek Ramaswamy basically said something to that effect in when he was being interviewed by Tucker last week.
Yep.
Basically saying that when you censor things and you suppress speech, stuff like January 6th happens.
Mm-hmm.
When you do the same thing with music, with movies, people want to consume it more.
Mm-hmm.
So people download it like yourself just out of spite. You say you're a Jason Aldean fan. I'm sure you are.
We can debate my music selection.
But it's there's always a backlash against it. So whenever they do this, you're just doing a favor to the artist.
It's almost like a Gen X rebellion, even with people that might not be Gen X.
Yep.
To the point like when your parents tell you don't touch the stove, it's hot, and you go and do it anyway.
Honestly, they used to. I know I mention this all the time. It sounds like a broken record, but the PMRC back in the 80s and 90s, they slapped parental advisory stickers on albums. And guess what? It made me want to buy them more.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a lot of really, really crappy records, albums, cassettes, because they had a parental advisory sticker on it.
Yeah.
You remember Two Live Crew?
Yes.
Does anybody think that Two Live Crew was a good hip-hop act? No, absolutely not. But a song like Me So Horny?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's right.
10-year-old Greg absolutely wants to hear that song.
And that's me five nights a week.
Exactly. So that's all I'm saying.
Yes.
You can take a song that may have gone nowhere and shot it up to #1 because you banned it. It's just ridiculous.
You put that label, parental advisory, explicit lyrics, and people just want to consume it. It's really remarkable. Yep. But, Dawn, this feels like kind of like the summer of pushback. You had Bud, you had Target, now you have Jason Aldean, and I feel like one thing is for sure, whether you're a Republican, a conservative, or you just believe in free speech, I think people have had it with the one side of the aisle trying to tell the other side what they can say, what they can consume, and there'll be consequences if you don't adhere to our demands. This feels like a Bud Light moment. I don't know that it'll be 4 months, but I think this Aldean stuff is going to carry on for the rest of the summer.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you mentioned January 6th and what or Greg did with what Vivek Ramaswamy said. But I think this is a change that we've seen within the past year, that conservatives and or Republicans, independents, in the past did not like the idea of banning something. And now I think this is a form of protest. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing that more and more. And I think it's people not trying to ban one thing, but rather trying to support something. Mm-hmm. And so this is a change with people using the power of being a consumer to say, you know what, if you want to call me MAGA, if you want to call me deplorable, then guess what? I'm going to find somebody else that I support. Yep. And so now I think this is a great way to protest as opposed to what happened on January 6th, by the way, because now people with their wallet, with their pocketbook, they can make a statement as a consumer and say, I don't like the way you treat me. And so I'm going to find a business that respects me.
Or
it's all about
what happened in the summer of 2020. Our protests aren't going to include lighting trash cans on fire, throwing them through a business's glass window, or flipping cars over. We'll just use the power of, commercial boycott, basically, and say, we won't shop there, we won't buy that beer, we will download this music more, or we won't download your music, and you'll feel it where it matters most for most people, and that's in their wallets.
Yeah, you're right. And it's a big block of Americans who've had it, had it like the bus driver. She's had it.
Yeah. Damn it! How much more do you expect me to take?
Yeah. How much more do you expect us to take when it comes to, oh, you can't say that. You can't. And the best part about this Aldean stuff is there's nothing that implies racism. And all the video footage is factual news clips that were airing on every network across the country for 3 straight months that summer.
Yeah. And if you look at the video, did you notice the video shows the individuals who are rioting, and a lot of the video shows white guys, especially,
and Antifa people.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so it's not for anybody to say this is somehow racist or race involved. That's really not what the video is showing.
No.
And in fact, if you're in a community, how many people in Philadelphia did we hear from saying, please God, don't let them loot my store? Or even with the Wawa, people in different communities saying, that's our only little area grocery store. Mm-hmm. So it speaks to community members of all different ethnicities as well.
There was a Tennessee lawmaker on MSNBC or one of those things over the weekend who called this a lynching anthem.
Yeah, I think it's Justin Jones.
Yes.
I think he's one of those 3 that...
well, yeah, that was censored or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, to say that, there was a news story that the site that the video took place, they shot an episode of Hannah Montana there.
Right. We talked about that Friday. Because the media once again got it wrong, saying that the location was, linked to lynchings from years and years and years ago, and in fact, it was not the case. It's where they filmed Hannah Montana.
Yeah, and apparently we talked about it was an historian who's talked about that county, and she comes from a family, actually her ancestors owned slaves.
Yep.
So she has tried to spread awareness. Somebody took something that she had said out of context, because she was just trying to say this county has this history. Let's give back to the community. I don't think she was actually the one credited with this, but it was her work as an historian out of guilt of her family heritage to try to turn things around.
Right.
Her work is the work that was being misquoted.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So there's a lot of people that have been reacting to it over the weekend, from fans to commentators to many in entertainment and music, and that also includes Travis Tritt, who's a longtime country star in the world of country music, and he had a great point, and we've talked about this many times on this show. I mean, Stalker, you have echoed this in the past when it comes to Twitter.
Can we stop getting our news from Twitter?
And Travis Tritt says that he wants to remind Americans that Twitter is not real life. Social media is not real life. He said, quote, I would also like to remind my friend at Jason Aldean that Twitter and social media in general is not a real place. The views shared by many accounts on this platform are not actually representative of the vast majority of the population in this country. Say what you want to say and be who you want to be. Damn the social media torpedoes, the country music star tweeted this past weekend. So this is, again, it's like you see, and like blown away by the fact that only 20% of Americans are actually on social media.
Well, what's funny about that is that if there was no social media and this video didn't go viral on social media and they just allowed it to be played on CMT, nobody would have noticed.
No.
Because nobody watches TV that way.
And where are you going to get the backlash and the outrage from? I mean, is it somebody on news media might do a segment on it? There might be an op-ed piece in the Times or the Washington Post or the Inquirer, but it's not going to be going viral like it does on social media where it gets 2 million views and a bunch of clicks and that. And you kind of live in that little bubble of social media and you think that's the way the world is. But when you step away from it, like if you ever disconnect for a week on vacation and put your phone away and don't go on social media, you look around and you're like, all right, it doesn't look like the world's burning down like it does on social media every moment.
Exactly.
Not that we're living in great times by any stretch.
That's why I implore the both of you to get the hell off social media.
By the way, is it do we call it Twitter or is it X?
I know. I see that.
As of this morning.
He's starting to get desperate.
He is.
Elon Musk, if you don't know,
it smells of desperation.
Is going to be rebranding Twitter, I think at some point today, from Twitter to X, and it's going to take on a new kind of business model. I don't know whose stock. We might have to do a big take on this. Whose stock is lower right now, Elon Musk or Ron DeSantis?
Oh man,
both have kind of like we're going like this, and then
hey, you're gonna piss off the chat. Everybody's gonna be like, hey, you're down on DeSantis, man.
DeSantis.
Yeah.
Yes. Both guys kind of on the struggle bus right now. And Elon Musk, of course, coughed up $44 billion, and less than a year later, he's going to be rebranding it.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be just fine. But the Twitter venture right now, and again, I don't notice a difference, but a lot of people that aren't fans of Elon Musk say it's, oh my God, it's got a completely different platform. It feels the same to me, but he's obviously going to have to do a lot like, DeSantis. He's changing up his staff. He's changing the look, the appearance, the branding, the packaging, all in an attempt to, I guess, get it in the direction he needs to get it. So last thing on the music front, and then we'll move on here. I did not know this because last week we played, before the whole Jason Aldean stuff, we played the Luke Combs Fast Car song.
Yeah.
And we discussed that story because the Washington Post wrote an article about how Tracy Chapman originally created that song, but does not get the notoriety, which I think does. And the whole beef is, well, Jason Aldean, Luke Combs is benefiting off of the cover song because basically he's a white man. And this is the song. So apparently this was labeled a racist song as well until the former president of the United States this past weekend tweeted a picture of his summer music playlist. And we're talking about Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And Barack Obama has Luke Combs' Fast Car song on his playlist.
That's hysterical.
So for an administration that played the race card more than anybody ever, maybe perhaps less, maybe a little bit more than the Bidens, maybe a little bit less, I don't know, it's pretty close. It's basically the third Obama term anyway, so what the hell, who cares? I guess this is not a racist song anymore if Barack Obama likes it, right? Isn't that the way? These are the rules of the left, right?
He probably knows that Tracy Chapman wrote it. She had tweeted out congratulations, and she gets paid.
Yeah.
Again for this. She gets
That's
cash.
the thing. Luke Combs isn't benefiting anything from this because, as we've found out, you make no money from streaming and all that stuff. So,
but she does.
Because she wrote the song.
Yeah.
So she's getting rich off of it. He's not.
That's correct. But Barack likes it. He likes Luke Combs.
By the way, does anybody really believe that that's really his playlist? It is absolutely not. That was focus,
might be.
That
Might
was
be.
focus grouped.
Might be Michelle's. It might be the kids.
Nope.
You're saying a black man can't like Luke Combs? Driving in a car. Come on. Yeah. So, Stocker, you like this better than Jason Aldean's Try That in a Small Town?
I'm not a Jason Aldean Try That in a Small Town fan. However, I will defend his right to make that video, play that video, whatever, more than anyone because I hate censorship. But no, I'm just not no.
But you like this song, Luke Combs, though.
This is a better, if you're going to say a better written song.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
But I out of the two, I love Tracy Chapman's original.
Yes.
Even though I love this version,
I just can't. The modern day pop country does nothing.
I gotcha.
It does nothing for me.
It's just amazing where we're at. That now we have gotten.
He's too sophisticated.
Oh yeah,
he's just too musically sophisticated.
I by the way, I was listening to Jason Aldean all the way home from the bike ride yesterday.
Aww.
Listened to that song about 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Greg Stocker. So
what?
Thinking about you telling me to turn off the song because you hate it. Yeah, not in any other context. But here's the thing too: we're at a point now with music where we're going to try to censor, and this is like the comedy thing where we're trying to cancel comedians, people putting blame on Dave. Dave Chappelle's the reason that there's violence against the trans community. Now we're going after country artists because of their lyrics or a video or news clips that they insert into the video. But yet you listen to hip-hop music or rap music, and not all of it is about violence, but a lot of it is, and nobody has a problem with that. Not one issue with that. Luke Combs or Jason Aldean put out a song, and it's like, the world's going to come to an end. We're now going after artists and their creative freedom, whether it's comedy or music or anything under the umbrella of entertainment. And that's where I'm like, well, where do we draw the line at? Apparently there is no line, right? In any institution in America, whether it's science, whether it's media, whether it's entertainment, whether it's politics, education. It's like everything's fair game to go after an attack simply because I don't agree with it.
Yep.
That's just so embarrassing that that's where we're at in this country today.
I don't agree with this. I don't like it, so therefore nobody else should be able to enjoy it.
That's correct.
And as we march toward the POTUS election 2024, it only intensifies.
That's correct.
Because everything is about 2024.
Indeed. 855-839-1210. We'll come back, wrap up the 6 o'clock hour next. The U.S. women's soccer team hammered for their response to the national anthem. We will get to that story on the other side of Kayal and Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Win and save this baseball season from Colony Pools and Power Washing, a local company serving Delaware, Delco, and Chester County since 1970. Are you tired of looking at your green house? Is your roof, siding, deck stained green from algae and mold? Let the experts pressure wash your home and take the pressure off of you. Win with Colony Pools and Power Washing. Call them now at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250.
Here's an incredible opportunity for those on the doorstep of retirement. Save up to 40% on your auto insurance. That's right, 40%. How? Contact Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate, not an insurance company, which means they get you the right coverage for the right money. As an official partner of Roadmap to Retirement, their objective is to save you money, not reduce coverage. Call Fran or call Jim, managing partners of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or get a free quote at dvigi.com.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axes...
What if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/get-early to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Hurts gives it off and keeps it and rolls down to the 2. And is he in? Yes! He let it go and it's intercepted. It's picked up by Josh Sweat. 15-10-5. Touchdown, Josh Sweat. Deep down the far side, and it is A.J. Brown again. Another touchdown. He steps up. He's hit. He fumbles the football, but I think he has it. No. Now the Eagles have it. That'll be the game. He breaks away at the 35-30, 25-20, 15-10-5. Miles Sanders, touchdown. Wow. He is firing the football, and it is caught by DeVonta Smith. Great catch. Attention, air traffic control. A flock of eagles is heading to Arizona.
Sweet memories. Last season was so much fun, and I believe this season will be even better. If you want your business to be part of this season's Eagles Radio Network highlight reel, email advertise@94wip.com for information. More great action is quickly approaching.
Hi, it's John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sunday mornings at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210. If you or someone you know has been diagnosed with cancer or undergoing treatments that cause severe fatigue or brain fog, medical hydration may be right for you. Dr. Molly Fantasia of Innovative Medical Associates has more than 30 years experience in helping cancer patients to improve their quality of life.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Nutrients delivered right to the cells support your immune system through surgery, chemotherapy, or wherever you may be on your cancer journey. Visit innovativemedicalassociates.com to schedule a free consultation with Dr. Molly in their Marlton, New Jersey office. And join us on Sunday mornings at 8 and again at 4 for Health Watch to learn more about the benefits of medical hydration for cancer, autoimmune diseases, and more.
Cozy Jewelers isn't an ordinary jeweler. They create beautiful, one-of-a-kind heirlooms designed to stay in your family for generations. So for something extra special for your anniversary, or just because, choose Cozy. With over a century of combined experience, Cozy Jewelers artisans know every piece and moment should be magical. Before you buy off the shelf, experience handcrafted custom jewelry from local specialists with the 5 C's of diamonds: cut, color, clarity, carat, and cozy. COZZIJewelers.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Kayal Company, 646, Monday morning. Good to have everybody in. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick, Dawn, and Greg. As we head till 10 o'clock this morning, just about an hour away from what's on the cut sheet. Always a great one coming off of the weekend. The Sunday shows. A lot of people saying a lot of different things. We will get to that in just about an hour. Dawn will have some news to kick off hour 2. And then also in the 7 o'clock hour, we got details on Donald Trump and his trial. That date has been set. And then also the New York Times with a article about whether or not it is safe to go outside this summer. And if you do, why you might want to wear a mask. So the New York Times is back to being the New York Times. We'll get to those as we continue here in the second hour of the show. But we'll put a bow on the first hour with this story. The U.S. women's soccer team has been in the news a lot lately. Not so much for what they actually do on the pitch or the field, but all of their political and social stances. We've talked about Megan Rapinoe and trans invasion, where the biological male goes in and tries to compete against the biological female in female sports. And now, as if they haven't caused enough controversy, as if they're not liked at a very low level enough, they decided to come out and really ruffle the feathers of a lot of Americans when it comes to the national anthem. So members of the U.S. women's soccer team have been hammered online for their response to the American national anthem. The U.S. played against Vietnam in the 2023 Women's World Cup on Friday in New Zealand. And apparently, and I'm just reading this story from The Blaze because I don't watch soccer and I have no interest in watching this U.S. women's national team despite all of their fanfare and hoopla, because to me they come off very un-American. 6 of the 11 American players did not place their hands over their hearts during the national anthem, and they chose not to sing the Star-Spangled Banner. According to Outkick, only 3 of the women's players sang the national anthem: Lindsay Horan, Alyssa Nair, and Julie Ertz. I want to say that's Zach Ertz's wife, the former Eagles tight end. Okay, so that is Zach's wife, Julie. Conversely, all of the women on the Vietnam team put their hands over their hearts and proudly sang their country's anthem, which is called Song of a Marching Army. Many Americans were upset with how the U.S. women's national team disrespected the anthem on a world stage and voiced their disappointment on social media, and most of it which came on Twitter. But here's my question, because I've seen a lot of people rooting against the women's national team. So what is the bigger disrespectful act? Is it the women's national team not putting their hand over their heart and singing the national anthem? Now, they didn't take a knee like that bum Kaepernick did 7 years ago, but they were still disrespectful and not partaking in your own anthem. Is that more disrespectful, or is it more disrespectful to be an American citizen and root against your country in a competition of sport against another nation out of spite? I think it's a fascinating conversation because, I have no skin in the game here. I'd like to see America win, but I'm not a soccer person. I'm also not really an Olympic person. I don't get into the Olympic stuff just from a sports standpoint. Obviously, I root for my country. I want us to beat China or Russia or whatever country we're playing against in whatever sport it might be. But I think it's fascinating. On one hand, you've got some of these females very outspoken, and they're kind of taking their little stance, which I disagree with, and then not rooting for your country or rooting against your country, which, as a fan of sports, you never really ever root against your team unless for some reason you want them to have like the first pick in a draft and you're like, okay, if we just lose this last game, we get the first pick and we get Joel Embiid in the draft. Like, then I understand. Like, that's like there's a motive behind wanting to lose. What do you make of this? Because this is, and my biggest takeaway from all of this is the U.S. women's national team for soccer might be the most disliked American Olympic team I can ever recall in my life. And I'm not an Olympic aficionado by any stretch. But this team is very unlikable. They are. Megan Rapinoe is okay as she gets ready to retire with biological men coming in and taking female spots because she doesn't have to worry about it anymore. She's going to be in retirement, and she's going to be a pitch person for Subway and every other commercial company that you see on TV promoting a product. So I don't know which way to go with this one as far as the disrespect. I would say the anthem, because it's not about you in that moment. Like yesterday, we did the bike ride, and they had a beautiful singer, beautiful voice, give us the national anthem right on the corner of 8th and Ray Street yesterday. And it was moving. And there was still a few people that I think kind of forgot they had their bike helmet on. I'm thinking of my old man as my dad used to smack me over the back of the head if I kept my ball cap on when the anthem was playing.
Take your hat off, kid.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. As he's smoking a Marlboro Red and drinking a Budweiser. And it's just like one of those things where, for that 40 seconds or however long the anthem is, it's about other people. It's not about you, right?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, sometimes somebody doesn't maybe qualify or because of they're an American, but their native country isn't. I know that's happened in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no problem if they're playing for another team because they couldn't qualify or what have you.
Right.
I think you're right. I think the anthem issue, I just think there's such an opportunity when you think of in the past, the Olympics. It was a moment for the USA to shine.
Mm-hmm.
And all those stories, the networks do a great job of inspiring young people. And it's all positive energy.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me sad. I was just looking up the history of it, and just going back over the years, you saw the great inspirational stories of somebody who struggled through it. Maybe their parents were poor and they had to find a way to, get the coaching, what have you. But it was inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
And here they are going for the USA, and are they going to get the gold? So it was not about them.
Mm-hmm.
And it inspired the nation and distracted us in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And at a time when we're post-pandemic, very tough inflation, very tough economy, it would be nice just to have a breath of fresh air and just have these athletes go out there and play for the USA and play their heart out and say inspirational things.
And it's a very simple thing here. If you don't like the United States and you have it so bad here, just leave. Nobody's forcing you to stay or live in the United States of America. Is this country perfect? No. Is this the best country on the planet? Yes. And I'm so tired of these people that feel like the national anthem is the ideal setting for you to voice your displeasure about some sort of injustice or cause. And again, making it about you or a small portion of a segment of a population when you're in this country making great money, playing soccer, living out your dream. I'm assuming some of these females probably make more with endorsements than they actually do playing the sport. But like they've got a golden opportunity, and yet they conversely also hate America at the same time.
Not standing up for what they did, but what makes us uniquely American and what makes this country great is the right to protest. So they do have the right to protest if they want to, which separates
and
us
falls
from
under
a lot
free
of,
speech, right?
Which is another example of free speech, and it separates us from a lot of other countries.
Do we draw a line when it comes to, who actually ends up being disrespected? Because I feel like my takeaway is when you disrespect the anthem and use that as a chance to, protest or free speech for a political cause or a social cause, it's kind of thumbing your nose at those that lost their life fighting for what makes America great and for what makes America be a place where we, at least in theory, believe free speech should thrive, right? Because if it wasn't for those people that laid down their lives, we would be living in a country where you'd have no opportunity to do any of this type of stuff.
It's true, but why is it that you watch, for example, the NFL draft and those young men coming up and they're just like, I want to thank my mom, thank my,
yeah.
They always thank mom first, which is nice, but they're inspirational and they just are so grateful and tearing up and you feel that sense of pride for them.
Yeah.
And they've worked so hard and just contrast that with, it just seems like these women who are that person. That's why I don't go to Starbucks anymore. Would you like a triple shot with that? It's that, I don't know. It's what we're doing to young women to make it seem like, well, they have to protest everything in order to be accepted.
Yeah.
Instead of just be part of the team, play and be grateful.
Yeah, I agree. And, you see that on the NFL draft where a lot of guys come from rough backgrounds. And now they know they've made their, at least in theory, have made the opportunity to make a lot of money now and get out of whatever struggle they were in growing up. And you don't see that as much in the NFL, but when it's women's soccer, when it's the NBA, you see all this social justice and political commentary. And I think it's directly related to some of these sports leagues that are struggling in attendance or getting ratings on TV is because I think at the end of the day, Americans, when they go to sports, they just want to be entertained. They want to get away from all of it for that 3.5 hours and not have to think about the real world issues and just get lost in something that at the end of the day, it's just entertainment. Pro sports are nothing more than a soap opera for men, really. It's what it is. We take it way too seriously, but it's just entertainment. I don't want to be clubbed over the head with social justice messaging or anthem protests when I'm sitting there trying to drink a beer and eat a hot dog and watch, the Michael Vick or whoever I'm watching at the time. I don't want to deal with that. But this women's national team, very, very unlikable to many, many Americans. 855-839-1210. We'll come back, kick off hour number 2. Dawn will have some news. And the New York Times wants to know, is it safe to go outside this summer? And if so, they've got some ideas how you could be safe as you wander around for the next 6 weeks before the summer ends. It's Kayal and Company, Hour 2. We're back after this.
Hello, this is Armin, president of Armin Chevrolet. What is the Armin Chevrolet difference? It's our people. You can click and get a price online from anyone. What you can't get from every dealer is the Armin team of quality, well-trained, friendly, and caring people. That's where Armin Chevrolet is different. Whether you want a new or pre-owned vehicle, need service or collision repairs, think Armin Chevrolet. Find new roads to Armin Chevrolet. Armin Chevrolet, where dealership meets friendship.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau Bureau, their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Summer is the perfect time to call Kathy Ganna at New Hope Academy. Does your child or grandchild need more of a challenge? Now's the time to make that call to Kathy Ganna at New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope founder Kathy Ganna, pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call now for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today, 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy now, 800-300-0003.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here to talk about my friends at Family and Company Jewelers in Marlton, New Jersey. You've heard me talking about them nonstop, but now is the time to pay them a visit. Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey. If you're shopping for the perfect engagement ring, look no further. They have the top 5-star rating on Google with over 2,000 reviews. No one else comes close to that. Get the right ring. A ring from Family and Company Jewelers. Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Corporate events, private parties, kick your next event up a notch. Hire comedian Joe Conklin to entertain your guests.
Hey, this is Dr. Charles Langman, and we hired Joe for a kickoff for our fundraiser, and he was just awesome. Knocked people's socks off.
I hired Joe to be the entertainment for the Liberty USO. The crowd went wild.
I definitely recommend Joe to anybody that wants to make a great impression with their customers.
Hire Joe Conklin now for corporate events and private parties. Go to JoeConklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Lose weight and feel great with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into the radio show Sunday at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Hitting the pool or just lounging around? Take us with you. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
.02, it is hour 2, Kayal and Company. Monday morning, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube. If my math is correct, and we'll get to Dawn's news here in a moment, we're under 20 subscribers away from 4,000.
What?
I think we're in like the teens. It's like 3,980 something.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if we can't get like a dozen subscribers today, something's wrong.
All right, stop what you're doing right now. It's 7:02 in the morning. Go over to YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Hit the subscribe button right now. And by the way, if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I want to get to over 100 likes, please. But hit the can you be the 4,000th subscriber?
Yeah.
We're in the teens. Do it right now, please.
If I can ride 65 miles,
you can hit the subscribe button.
14 of you can hit a subscribe button.
Exactly.
I think it's a fair trade-off.
I also saw some statistic that like 36% of people that watch it are not subscribed. Like what?
That's a violation.
What? Just hit the subscribe button for God's sake.
Yeah.
What are you like? What are you doing? It helps. It helps us. You know, because I can show the suits above me. But hey, look at this! Look at this little rinky-dink radio station.
That's right. A little powerful station down the hall. Getting it done.
Of course, it's not a rinky-dink radio station. I say that facetiously.
Of course.
But, you know, there are people, not our management here. Our management is lovely. But, you know, there are people that look at us like, oh, that AM station.
Uh-huh.
Are they still around?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's what they do.
4,000 subscribers in
5
3
months,
4 months,
something like that, yeah. All right, 855-839-1210, the phone number. Let's get some news. 7:04, round number 2, the great Dawn Stensland.
And good morning. This morning we are sponsored by Hint Water this Monday morning, July 24th, as we hit for our 7 o'clock news this morning. So in the news, we are 73 degrees. I'll tell you when the heat wave that is hitting other parts of the country will come to us in the Philadelphia region. This morning, we have several Philadelphia police officers recovering from injuries sustained while trying to break up this huge crowd on Sunday. So the FOP confirming that about 500 people, mostly teens, young people, some as young as middle school age, were all gathered. There were different gatherings apparently overnight, but the main gathering was 1300 block of Broad Street. This is North Philadelphia, and residents in that area say they were calling 911 complaining about a lot of loud music, a lot of screaming and yelling, very disruptive for the community, quality of life issues for many there. And as well, this group was blocking the roadway. And so if anybody had an emergency or anybody was coming home late from work, that sort of thing, they couldn't get to where they needed to go. So police were called in to clear the situation out. Obviously, the curfew's not working. Some of those comments from residents saying some of these young kids as young as 10, 11, 12 years old, where are their parents? Many of those questions. But amid all of this, several officers reportedly injured. One had to be taken to the hospital. A vehicle rammed into him, actually broke his ankle. They said it was lucky that it wasn't worse. So it's not life-threatening, but some of these officers being treated in severe pain.
Terrible irony of on a day where we're helping do a ride and a charity and donate to a cause of fallen first responders, and we've got this going on at the same time.
Yeah. Just lawlessness, these four-wheel vehicles, ATVs. Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney did respond to the incident, condemning those who committed this and saying that he wished the police officers who were injured a speedy recovery. And he's grateful to the officers who put themselves in harm's way every day to protect the public and keep the peace.
Okay, and if that's true, Jim, then great. Then prosecute the guy who used a vehicle to bang into an officer to the fullest extent of the law. I mean, trying to hit somebody with a car is trying to hit somebody with a deadly weapon, right? Mm-hmm. Cars kill you. So I don't know if he was going 2 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour. It really shouldn't matter. The fact that you try to hit a cop with a car.
And then sped off.
Yeah, so
it was a hit and run.
Yeah, so your tweet or your public message or whatever, however Jim Kenney relayed that message, great. Now do your stinking job and take that guy to justice.
Well, the search, we don't have word on when the search of Delaware River and surrounding areas will resume with those divers. This is Bucks County as water levels recede. But we have some new updates on the situation with those deadly, tragic flash floods that had struck Bucks County. This is Lower Makefield. We know that family and friends, the community gathering at the 9/11 Memorial Garden of Reflection in Bucks yesterday to mourn the 6 people who were killed, swept away during that severe flooding. And they also honored 9-month-old Conrad Shield, the little boy, baby boy, who remains missing after the floodwaters swept away members of his South Carolina family who were visiting family in this area. So his mom, Kate, was killed, and his 2-year-old sister was killed. Her body recovered from the Delaware River on Friday, and the final confirmation from the coroner that, yes, indeed, it was little Maddie. So now the last individual, Conrad Shields, the 9-month-old baby, they continue to search for him. A lot of praise and thanks and gratitude from the victims' families as well as the community for hundreds of officers who helped in this search, and not just from Bucks County, from across the region, deploying K-9 units, sonar, drones, and as well the divers. And they will continue on as soon as, like I say, the weather permits. We have business news this week. The Fed meets, expected to raise rates as much as 0.25%, watching that and looking at the economy this week. So we'll look toward that. And speaking of that, we've talked a lot about the movies and blockbuster of the summer, Barbie and Oppenheimer. What do they call it? Barbieheimer?
Barbieheimer.
Collecting about $235 million in the U.S. and Canada. Biggest opening weekend since 2019.
Yeah. I saw, was Barbie like $155 million?
$155 million. I was at, I was running errands over the weekend, and Penn Cinemas, which is in the Huntington Valley Shopping Center, they had a big premiere there or whatever. And all of these girls were like dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like one girl had like a pink ball gown on or something, and they're all dressed up in pink. And I was just like, wow, this is like an event. This is happening.
It is. Feels like a big big summer of movies, by the way. I mean, I know we don't have like the Jurassic Park type blockbuster, but between Barbie, Sounds of Freedom has been in the news a lot. Oppenheimer. I'm going to go see Sounds of Freedom next Saturday, by the way. I got to see it.
Sound of Freedom is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. It's a must-see.
I saw a lot of pushback, though, to the Barbie movie. They basically, and I'm assuming it's got a big slant to it, they basically shred men the entire movie.
Well, I have there's some song that Ken does in it, which is played by Ryan Gosling.
Oh.
I have it. I'll play it for you coming up at 7:45.
Okay.
I don't know. Are they poking fun at the whole thing, or
it sounds like they meant to be funny.
Okay.
That's what
I'm hearing.
I mean, I know the usual people on Twitter like, this is woke, this is, and I'm not defending it.
Right.
It's obviously not my cup of tea.
No.
But I think that, to Dawn's point, I think they're doing it like tongue in cheek, like
Okay.
as a joke.
Good. And if that's the case, then great. I'm all for humor, even if it's humor that I would normally be bothered by or disagree with.
Yeah, I mean, teenage girls, because I'm around teenagers, so all the teenage girls, like you're saying, got dressed up. It was a big thing. Went to see it over the weekend. They thought it was funny, cute. So I think it gave the opportunity for all the girls. I don't know that the guys are necessarily,
right.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
I don't, unless it's like a date. It's not really a date movie.
And also, Stalker's trying to shed the label of looking like a Ken doll because he's gone with the beard now. The beard is still there post vacation. Is this going to be a new look moving forward?
I don't know.
Malibu Stalker.
I don't know. I haven't got up the energy to shave it yet. By the way, Fred Flintstone has checked in on YouTube.
Oh, Barney Rubble will be with him shortly.
He says, I hope you guys aren't going to talk about the Barbie movie. I turned off WPHT last night when you got into it. Well, just for you, Fred, we're going to do 2 hours on it.
Yes.
So you can tune out.
I'm going to do a whole big take on Barbie tomorrow.
I absolutely hate when people say, you shouldn't be talking about this. Let us do our job, and you either listen or don't. I don't care.
Who did he turn off last night? Rooney? Rooney was talking about the Barbie movie? That's a big story.
It's a huge story. Yeah. It's a cultural phenomenon. It made $155 million.
Of course.
Maybe we can spend 2 more hours talking about Trump v. DeSantis. Maybe that'll make you happy. Will that make you happy, Fred? Will it? For the love of God.
Excuse me. There's a new Trump doll.
Better
than Ken. Better than Ken.
Wow.
Watch our ratings go to the toilet.
Trump.
That's exactly what we need. That's exactly what we need. Thank you.
Maybe we should talk about Vivek.
Ramaswamy.
712 Stalker explosion.
Jesus, mighty.
Mid-news with Dawn. Go ahead, Dawn. We are in the news.
I forgot where we were.
Me too.
Phillies won. If you didn't hear, 8-5. I gave some of the highlights and Bryce on first base. And by the way, we're home game tonight against the Orioles. That's 6:40 p.m. And I don't see the showers. I think the showers will move through 9 to 10 a.m. this morning. So that'll bring me to the NBC 10 first alert forecast. There is a heat wave brewing for us, but not until Thursday. So it looks like today we remain clear of any major storms. We're looking at 86 degrees today, a chance for some pop-up scattered thunderstorms this morning, and then mainly cloudy for the rest of the day, but mid-80s, so palatable. Let's say palatable Actually, now they've extended it. Thunderstorms start about 8:45, could extend almost till 11 a.m., but then it looks like mostly cloudy, and we might see the sun peek out as well. For your tomorrow, for your Tuesday, as Greg Stocker always says, 88 degrees tomorrow, and much of the same pattern with a chance for those scattered thunderstorms and showers moving through. Wednesday, 92 degrees, and this is where after Wednesday, we begin that heat up. 95 degrees for your Thursday, and then Friday, 97 degrees, bringing on the heat. For the weekend, we cool back down to 90 degrees for your Saturday, a chance for some storms and showers, but then Sunday looks to be the better weekend day. Long-term planning here, 87 degrees, partly sunny skies. That's your NBC 10 First Alert forecast. You always want to make sure you stay hydrated, especially for Nick Kayal, who completed his great run, all for a good cause for families of the fallen. Hint Water sponsors our news at 7. Delicious, fruit-infused water, 0 sweeteners, 0 calories. Hint's 25 flavors include flavors like blackberry, coconut, blueberry, lemon. That's one of my favorites. In stores or at hintwater.com. This is Kayal & Company News Live, 7 a.m. version.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 855-839-1210. Speaking of the bike ride yesterday, we've got our buddy Dave Madden from Warminster on the line, the man that trained me, put up with me, and I think was a little bit surprised by my performance yesterday. Good morning, Mr. Madden. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Nick. Yeah, we're going to rename you the Cyclist.
The Cyclist.
Woo!
Yes. Awesome. Now, yesterday was very interesting, Dave. I did 65 miles. You did 65 miles. A bunch of people did 65 miles. I'm sure some did 30 miles. But you look like you didn't even break a sweat. Like this was like a warm-up. This was like the preseason for you, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoy those kind of events, meeting all kinds of people who enjoy cycling, and just having a good, fun time, safe time for a great benefit.
Yeah, and you were like a celebrity yesterday. We made a couple of the rest stops, and you had people coming up to you like, "Hey, is that Dave Madden over there? Oh my God, it is Dave Madden over there." You're big in the cycling community, Dave Madden.
Yeah, I've trained a lot of people for just for Ironman triathlons, long bike rides, safe bike rides, mountain biking. Trail bike riding. Yeah, it's a lot of fun meeting the community of the cyclists.
Well, in all seriousness, thank you so much for your time. You gave me all sorts of equipment, advice, tips. You know, we rode 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, 25 miles. We rode in the rain. It was a good prep, a good build-up, and I certainly appreciate all of your help for getting me to that point. And look, I mean, we did 25 miles, but that's nowhere close to 65. So there was a little bit of doubt in the back of my head of like, can I do another 40 nonstop the way we were? But we were able to get it done yesterday.
Yeah, with each training session, you improved greatly. So, that was good to see, from the first one being only 5 miles up to 26. And, you were focusing, you were concentrating on learning how to do it correctly, learning your form, learning how to shift, learning how to brake safely, all those things you were growing leaps and bounds. So by the time you got to the bike ride with the excitement of the day and everything, you took it to task and you concentrated and you focused on your goal and you got there. You got there with lots of fun, talking to a lot of people and having lots of fun.
That's correct. And you absolutely love it when I go on a decline downhill and start riding the brake, don't you?
Oh, gosh. There's no reason you should be braking going downhill.
I know. I'm a softie.
You use all that energy to get up the hill to gain that kinetic energy, and now you're braking going downhill.
That's
but
correct.
You have to be safe. The most important thing is to be safe and get to the end.
No doubt about it. All right, Dave, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And next year we'll start training in April, okay?
All right. Sounds great.
All right. There he is, the great Dave Madden yesterday, riding with me when he could have probably finished 2 hours sooner than I did.
That's, right there, that guy. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not? He rode next to you.
I know. Dealt with me the whole time. He's so good on a bike that he can get ahead of me, turn around, and start filming me to record to post on social media.
Yeah.
He's not even looking at the road.
Yeah, I saw the Kayal Cam. If you haven't, seen that yet on Twitter, I think it's on your Twitter page.
Yes, it
Nick
is.
Kayal. You can see you huffing along.
Plugging away at 12 miles an hour.
Plugging away, like, okay, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there.
We're going to do it.
At Nick Kayal on Twitter if you want to see those videos.
All right. We'll come back. I want to grab Jim. He's got some thoughts on the women's national team and the anthem, and then we will get to this New York Times story, and also the Trump trial details are set. All of that as we work our way towards what's on the cut sheet. That's coming up at 7:45.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the new electric XC40 lease for as low as $487. An absolutely fabulous offer, $487. No sales tax for New Jersey residents. Monies due at signing are license fees and the first month's payment only. This is an incredible offer. Considering the electric XC40, now is the time. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo online or in person for a great selection. Our team looks forward to seeing you very soon.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
You've been wanting to check out that news story that everyone's talking about, but you just can't find the time. That's why the On Deadline podcast is here. We pull together interviews from Odyssey's radio newsrooms across the country and add important context so you can really get the news fast. From wildfires and catastrophes at sea to new laws and presidential candidates, we'll have coast-to-coast coverage for you all in one place. Subscribe to On Deadline on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
People who suffer from long-term chronic joint pain spend so much of their time acting, putting up a carefree front. It's exhausting.
I was really tired of trying to act like I wasn't in pain because I was in pain all the time.
Rick Rawlings didn't want everyone else to know that he was coping with agonizing shoulder pain 24/7.
Yes, I had to put on a face to cover up my pain.
But then Rick found QC Kinetics, offering new lasting treatments for joint pain using natural biologics. Treatments designed to restore and repair joint tissue with no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. The results were amazing.
I am very glad. It changed my life doing the QC Kinetics. Today, my shoulders feel wonderful. The cranky Rick is gone. He's not grouchy anymore.
No more acting. Feel like yourself again with a call to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
When I think about safety and security, privacy, DuckDuckGo, you got to do it. That's in our house. We have used DuckDuckGo for years now. They're a local company, and it's really what we call privacy simplified. You got to do it if you haven't tried it already. DuckDuckGo is a browser like Chrome, except better. You know why? Because it's private. It actually blocks those trackers. It comes with DuckDuckGo Private Search, which is like Google, but way better. Because why? It doesn't spy on all your searches. And it's available on Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac. So here's the thing. Download it today for free in the App Store. You can always visit DuckDuckGo.com. So I have it on my iPhone. I have it here on my computer at work. And it is privacy simplified. If you're tired of being tracked online, you ever notice that? You go and you search something. Maybe you're looking for a gift. And all of a sudden you're looking up, different gifts, shoes, whatever it is. And all of a sudden you notice this? You get all of these ads bombarded by them. DuckDuckGo can help. It's more private, by the way, than incognito mode. So if you think, oh, don't worry, I go on incognito mode, they're still tracking you. It's always free. If I can download it, you can too. Make DuckDuckGo your default search. It's trusted by tens of millions worldwide. And you can explore all the features of Google or Facebook, any other companies this is the best, in my humble opinion. DuckDuckGo is where it's at. It's a private search engine, and they're local. They're not left coast. It's a tracker blocking browser extension, email protection, and app tracking protection, too. I love it, and you will, too. So download DuckDuckGo today for free in the App Store, or always visit DuckDuckGo.com.
Hey, Metal Laurel. We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
Got this in pocket. Gunpowder. I'm gonna use it.
We are back, 724 Monday morning. It's Kayal and Company, Talk Radio, 1210 WPHT. What's on the cut sheet? Coming up in just about 20 minutes. Details on the Donald Trump trial coming up in 2024. And also this New York Times article on whether or not it is safe to go outside. But let me grab Jim in Wilmington. He's got some thoughts on the U.S. women's national team and the anthem. He's been on hold for a while. Jim, welcome to Talk Radio 1210. You go right ahead.
Hey, Nick, congratulations on your accomplishment.
Thank you very much.
In October, Delaware has one. It's 150 miles to bike to the Delaware Bay.
Don't get any ideas.
Okay.
I'll go halfway.
Yeah.
I'll go 75. I can't do 150. There's no way I'd be able to pull that off.
Actually, I think that's a 2-day thing, and they're even, I think, going to go down to 1 day.
Okay.
But they would go 75 miles, and then next day go back 75. But
gotcha.
You said you're not big on soccer, and I kind of just wanted to point out, you think that the women's soccer team would have learned from the Olympics when they kind of started all this anti-U.S. nonsense. They totally bombed in the Olympics, so maybe it was karma, that, kind of jumped in there. But it doesn't matter if it's the women's soccer team or football or whatever. If they just would go and play sports, that's what I'm at. I'm like, want to kind of, not even go to games because of all this nonsense.
Yeah, no, Jim,
But,
there's a lot of people that have turned off certain sports because of the messaging, for sure. We've seen it in basketball. You saw it for a little bit of the NFL when Kaepernick took the knee and, he made those comments and he had the socks with the police officers depicted as pigs and things like that. So you would think some of these teams or these leagues or the Olympics, they would learn, and especially on the Olympic stage. That's what bothers me the most. I mean, that's a patriotic event to begin with. So we appreciate the phone call, and I do not think I can do 150 miles, even in 2 days. I'm going to need about 3 days to recover this week just to get back into the gym and go play some golf. Thighs are burning. So.
Gotta do your stretches.
I gotta do some stretches. You're right. So the New York Times is, in typical New York Times fashion, pumping out more fear-mongering content. Not sure if people saw this story, but the New York Times now being torched for publishing an article asking if it is safe to go outside during, quote, this cruel summer. I don't know if that Cruel Summer song gets any financial boost here by using that, but reactions online roasting the New York Post in its the New York Times in its health section. The New York Times published an article titled "Is It Safe to Go Outside? How to Navigate This Cruel Summer." And the article's sub-headline reads, "Heat, flooding, and wildfire." So they're going climate change and also your health here. But heat, flooding, and wildfire smoke have made for treacherous conditions. Use this guide to determine when it's safe to head out and when you should stay home. I just love how we are now 3.5 years since the inception of the pandemic, and we are now going to shift the is it safe to go anywhere, to breathe the air, and whether or not you should wear a mask. Nothing to do with COVID. COVID's dead and gone. It's buried. It's done with. We're past that. And now it's about, the wildfire and the heat wave. And, my God, it's going to be 97 on Friday. Use your best judgment. If you're high risk, if you're old, whatever it might be, don't go out and run a marathon, right? Stay inside. If you got to go out, turn your air conditioning on in your car 20 minutes in advance. We don't need the New York Times with their health section publishing an article like this, written by Alicia Gupta, a reporter focused on women's health inequities, so here we go again, inequities, and trends in functional medicine and wellness. The article sounds the alarm about this year's summer of weather extremes in the United States, in which going outside can be riddled with perils. The New York Times urges people, quote, if you must be outdoors, consider wearing an N95 mask to help reduce your exposure to toxins. The New York Times readers tells their readers a heat index of 103 degrees Fahrenheit and above is dangerous. You're likely to experience heat cramps and heat exhaustion, something we all are aware of since we are adults and know that this type of stuff is nothing new. And heat stroke is possible if you're outside for a prolonged period or doing something strenuous. According to the National Weather Service, the Times warns that extreme heat leads to hundreds of fatalities a year in the U.S. Oh, my God. Hundreds of fatalities. In a nation of 350 million people, there might be a couple hundred fatalities. Don't go outside, folks. Put a mask on. Despite warnings about health-related deaths, studies show that more fatalities are actually caused by cold weather. A 2021 study published in the Lancet Planetary Health found that for every death that is linked to heat, 9 are connected to the cold, which confirms two things. Summer's far better than winter. I've long suspected that for many years. The winter stinks. It's miserable. And you're going to be just fine. Like, who is wearing an N95 mask in 95-degree weather, walking around an amusement park in July due to toxins in the air or smoke particles from Canada when we're not under any sort of advisory to do so? Like, when we had that first wave of smoke that came through this area, it was pretty bad, right? Like, we could all smell, like, okay, I got you there. But the New York Times doing a whole section on how to navigate your life for the next 2 months because it's a little warmer than usual, and you're going to put a mask on? No thanks.
It's a form of manipulation.
It's just desperate clickbait.
It's clickbait. That's all it is.
It's like, why?
Some people believe it, though.
Well, that's the sad part. Yes, you're right.
You know?
Yeah.
There are some people who think, oh, we're in so much danger. And then you combine that with the fact that we have this mental health situation happening post-pandemic.
Yep.
And some people are just triggered. They're freaked out. I don't even know that it's political. I just think some people are so freaked out.
Yeah, scared of their own shadows.
They
exactly.
are.
They're
well
like,
put.
oh, we can't go outside. It's the climate's bad. It's hot. The air's bad. We can't go in crowded rooms because of COVID.
Yeah.
We can't, like, these people. We've raised a generation because Newman Price points out that the writer is young. So, like, we've raised a generation of kids who are afraid of their own shadows.
It is.
They don't want to leave anywhere.
I know.
And that's coming from a guy who doesn't leave his house. But that's just because I don't like people.
Well, and Dawn, you make a great point when you, in the news this morning, I think it was in hour one, where you said the temperatures in the Atlantic Ocean are up about 3 degrees more than usually 68, 69, 71, 72. But let me ask, and maybe you can tell. I mean, God knows I've been wrong on a lot of things. But can anybody tell the difference in 69-degree water versus 72-degree water in the ocean?
Yeah.
You can?
It feels good this year. We did notice it right away.
Okay.
We're like, wow.
Yeah, it felt warmer. It did feel warmer.
Okay, so you could tell.
It felt warmer earlier.
It's nicer.
All right.
Because usually it's nice by August, but it was already warm in late June.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected. I mean, I can tell the difference, like, when I'm in my house and the air conditioning's 72 versus 69, but I didn't think you'd be able to tell the difference in, like, the water temperature, like, you know, in the ocean. Like, in your bathtub, sure, right? But, you know, what do I know? All right.
Yeah, but I just, wait till the wind turbines hit, because those turbines, they're underground substations that are going to, when they churn out, they take that cool ocean water. I'm quoting Cindy Ziff, who was on my show Friday, and she's an expert, and even the government reports say this, when they churn back out the water, which is millions of gallons of water ultimately, it's 90 degrees.
Wow.
So actually those wind turbines will warm the ocean, and those reports are out there. So if you think it's warm now, just wait.
All right. I probably should have jumped in that ocean yesterday when I got done with the bike ride.
You didn't. You didn't. That's
No.
one of the best parts about doing that ride.
No.
Jumping in the ocean and having a beer.
I did not. And by the way, guess what beer was served yesterday?
Oh no.
Yingling?
Well, there was Yingling and Miller, but a lot of Bud Light cups actually.
Oh boy.
Really?
Yeah. I guess there's not much of a Bud Light boycott in Atlantic City. There's a lot of bikers drinking a lot of Bud Light yesterday.
Was it free?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't partake because I was like, I need water.
Yeah.
I am not drinking any alcohol today. And trust me, I would like to, but no. Yesterday was about water.
You might have passed out.
Oh, I know. It wouldn't have been good. Plus, it was almost a 2 hour ride back from AC to Philly just to get back to my car. So the great Rob Kalustian yesterday rode back with one of our sales guys and his daughter. We were listening to Taylor Swift the whole ride home.
Oh, really?
It was unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was like Swifties in motion as we sat there in traffic. 855-839-1210. But once I got back from Atlantic City to Philadelphia, got back in my truck. That's right, 2023 Honda Ridgeline from Piazza Honda of Springfield. Just about 3 months in, and I got to tell you, it's just one of these vehicles, like you always love getting into a new car, whether you buy it or lease it, and then it kind of wears off, and it's just a vehicle, right? Not with this truck. If you're a truck person like me, but you want some economic benefits, you want to, maybe fill your truck up for $65 instead of $98. If you're not hauling around landscaping equipment, or maybe you're a professional and you don't need all the torque and power of an 8-cylinder with a huge Hemi and all of that, the Honda Ridgeline is for you. And I got mine at the Springfield location. You can also go to Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, or Reading to take advantage of 0.9% APR financing. Now, maybe you're not a truck guy at all. That's okay. They have special rates on the Civic, the Accord, the CR-V, the Pilot, and much more. The Piazza Auto Group, 17 brands now, 35 locations. They dominate in and around the city of Philadelphia, and it's my go-to for all things automotive. To find your new or certified pre-owned vehicle, visit them today, piazzaautogroup.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Summer means hotter days. Avoid using heat-generating appliances like stoves and dishwashers during the day. Use them during off-peak hours in the evening to minimize the effects of heat and save on electric costs. Late evening and early morning is also the best time to water plants and lawns, as water is less prone to evaporation. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Don't miss Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor, Saturday afternoons at 5. Tune in for accurate information so you can make the right medical decisions. Your radio doctor, Dr. Marianne Ritchie, Saturday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
In the Wildwoods, you'll find plenty of shore.
Fishing at sunrise?
Sure. Shopping after lunch? Sure.
Ice cream for breakfast?
Sure.
How about free beaches?
Sure.
Great restaurants?
And nightlife?
Oh, for sure. With the best of the Jersey Shore all on one 5-mile island, you're sure to find everything you're looking for. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods. Start planning your stay now. Visit wildwoodsnj.com.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. Talk to your cardiologist today. You may be glad you did.
John was compensated for his time. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928. 800-682-9928.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's college season, and parents have a lot to consider.
You can say that again.
You got 6 college visits,
2 down,
18 care packages.
I know my baby.
Then there's Parents' Weekend.
Just one?
Speaking of, when you get a Citizen student loan with multi-year approval, all you need is one easy application. Learn more at citizensbank.com/one-and-done. Citizens, made ready.
Parks Casino. Joe Conklin hosts national comedians every other Thursday. It's Joe Conklin's Comedy Night at Parks. Show dates and tickets. Go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com. Hey, Doylestown. Tell your smart speaker to play
1210 WPHT.
Searching on a one-way street. 7:40, it is Kayal and Company here on a Monday morning. Just 5 minutes out from what's on the cut sheet. Still ahead this morning, why Joe Biden is so unpopular. Also, the latest polling data on Trump and Biden. And Hunter's lawyer taking a big rip of a bong. And this administration likes to talk about the optics, so we'll get to that as we continue. And also, I have been proven right on the notion of a third party having any success, according to a Monmouth poll. We'll get to that as we continue. And also some layoffs in the world of DEI hires. And a Lowe's employee gets fired after receiving a black eye, after they were punched in the face trying to stop thieves. So once again, if you are an employee of a company and you're trying to prevent theft, if you intervene and you get assaulted by the criminal, you're the one that will be fired from the job. And odds are the criminal will not be prosecuted. That's the world that we live in right now. So we'll get to all of that as we continue this morning. Also, just corrected during the break. No Bud Light yesterday, specifically from a beer standpoint. There were Bud Light clear, like these clear plastic cups with the blue Bud Light branding and logo on it, but it was not Bud Light beer.
Really?
That is correct. So my guess is probably it was like Michelob Ultra or one of, maybe some other Bud brands.
Sure.
But it was not Bud Light specifically.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. And I think I did see Miller and Yingling as well.
You stand corrected.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
So it's just the leftover cups and apparel and accessories that I'm sure the Anheuser-Busch can't give away these days.
By the way, update. We are 4 subscribers away from 4,000. Right now at 7:42 in the morning.
Oh, my God.
We are 4 subscribers away. So go over right now. Can you be the 4,000th? Can you be the 4,000th subscriber to the YouTube channel? YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Hit the sub. We only need 4 of you.
In the next 3 minutes, before the cut sheet.
Before the cut sheet, let's try and get to 4,000. Can you be the 4,000th?
Can you identify who is the 4,000th?
Sure. For this purpose, yes. We'll say yes.
Yeah, we got to give them a shout out or like a free T-shirt or something because
we can't give away anything free.
Okay.
We can't. Sorry.
We've been asking for 4,000 subscribers for a long time now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a little bummed we didn't get there before the ride, to be honest. I thought we were well on our way, but then people check out on Friday and they start 3-day weekends and. People have pink eye and hand, foot, and mouth disease and all sorts of stuff.
Hand, foot, and mouth.
Yeah, well, the couple of friends with their kids that have hand, foot, and mouth right now.
The pandering seems to go away when I'm not here. So like we lose focus on our mission in the morning. It's not to get ratings. It's not to drive revenue.
Content.
It's to get subscribers. So I can look good in the biggity big sales meetings.
Well, nobody does a better job pandering than you.
I appreciate that.
I mean, you're a top panhandler.
Thank you.
I mean, you have a future. If the radio thing ever goes south, Yeah, I mean, you'll make a killing on the corner of like 8th and Market or something.
Yeah.
You'd be great at it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Sitting out there playing a guitar or something with a little bucket. Yeah. Stalker playing the banjo for tips. Just randomly shouting.
Do it right now. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Also, if you're watching right now, please hit the hit the like button. We're at 85 likes, and I want to get to 100.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, a couple of quick details here on the Donald Trump trial date for his classified documents probe. This coming down right before the weekend. The trial will take place on May 20th of next year, 2024. Just months before the presidential election, he'll be on trial for 37 felony counts on a federal level. That, according to the federal judge coming down Friday, District Judge Eileen Cannon announcing the finalized trial date. In her decision, Cannon wrote that the initial December 11th trial date the Department of Justice proposed was, quote, atypically accelerated and inconsistent with ensuring a fair trial. The Associated Press reported she sided with Trump's defense lawyers who argued there is a voluminous amount of evidence that needs to be reviewed before trial. Cannon wrote, quote, the court finds that the interests of justice served by this continuance outweigh the best interests of the public and defendants in a speedy trial. I think she's trying to position this like she's being fair. I don't know that I necessarily see it that way. I don't know that this is a massive fail by her, but a criminal trial in the middle of a presidential election when primary races are over, and if Trump is found guilty on perhaps even one single charge, even if he appeals, that's going to go right into the general election. That's going to carry right through the fall. And I think this is why when you look at, the weaponized DOJ with deranged Jack Smith and Merrick Garland, and they were just so motivated to rush this through and get this in line. And then, oh, by the way, some of these other cases that have either been brought against him or are still on the verge of having indictments come forward. I mean, this is once again a major, major historical moment from the standpoint of one guy in office and his DOJ trying to put away, legitimately lock up and throw away the key, because at 76, 77 years old, if you're ever found guilty of any of these things, you're done. I mean, yeah, that's it. You don't live to be 150, so it's not like Trump will be back out in the streets in 20 years. And this is, I think, the judge, once again, from a political standpoint, and this is the one thing I hate about the legal field, whether it's lawyers, judges, or prosecutors, I hate the political nature of the criminal justice system. But this is Judge Cannon putting her stamp on all of this that falls under the Trump umbrella. So, you can sit here, we talk about election interference, which, I mean, certainly in many regards, this would qualify because we have never seen anything like this before. So I know a lot of people were talking about that as far as the date coming out. And then you're talking, 5 months away from the election?
Well, that's just it. It's in between. So it's after the primary, but it's before the election. But
Right.
I still think the Trump attorneys have a case to say there's so much that they don't have enough time to prepare for this.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with regard to the fact that these allegedly are these highly sensitive documents.
Right.
Well, how do they present that to a jury?
Mm-hmm.
How do they handle those documents?
Right.
So I think they have a lot of reasons where they can say, Your Honor, we need time to prepare for this. And a lot of times you see trials push back just without the national spotlight.
Right.
But now they have national security to worry about. So I wouldn't doubt that they are able to possibly push it back.
Yeah, we'll see. A lot of reading for sure. You got to have a lot of manpower for this because this is historical, and I think the correct word is voluminous. 7:47. It's a Monday morning. Stalker's Cut Sheet, usually voluminous, coming off of a weekend of audio.
What's on the cut sheet?
What's on the cut sheet on this Monday is brought to you by our good friends at Cherry Hill Volvo, who I will talk about in just 1 second. But breaking news update, we have smashed, shall we say, 4,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. The pandering works. I can now go into my brand manager meeting on Thursday with my head held high, saying, "Hey, sports station, I know you have like, you know, a ton of listeners and stuff, but like,
we're not too shabby either.
I think we might be beating you on the subscriber count on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying."
Here's the T-shirt we need made: Stalker 316 on the front, and on the back it says "Pandering Pays."
Yes, and let me not pander, because this is I truly believe in this company. Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now they're offering rebates and bonuses of up to $14,833 to lease a new Recharge XC40 and AC40. Now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter. Check them out on Route 70. If you're driving past them right now, give them a little honk. Tell them you heard about them on Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Okay, the Barbie movie made $155 million over the weekend. It's going to be the biggest, I believe, movie of the summer. Oppenheimer, not too shabby, doing $77 million. I think I read that this was the first time two releases like this grossed the amount of money that each of them did. So I have a little clip from the new Barbie movie, because everybody's talking about how it's woke. And first of all, it looks terrible. Can I say that again? It looks terrible.
What looks terrible? The movie?
The Barbie movie looks terrible.
Okay.
Again, I'm not the target demo for that,
Yes.
so I would assume.
No, I'm completely in the dark on this. Is this with real actors or is this animated?
Really?
Okay. And here's
this is a okay.
Here's
You haven't seen the?
No.
It's Margot Robbie.
Okay. Oh yeah, and Ryan Gosling's in it.
And
right?
Ryan Gosling.
Okay. Well, here's why I ask, and there's a method
wait,
to my madness.
I hired you
Yes.
because you weren't just politics.
Right.
That's one of the things that attracted me to you.
Yeah, baby.
on a host standpoint. This is a huge cultural phenomenon. Learn your freaking pop culture.
But here's my question though, and this is the pop culture tie-in.
Yeah.
Am I the only guy that still watches like television and cable?
Yes.
Because my question is, I have not seen any of these movies advertised in commercials on. Do they not market movies on TV anymore in commercials? Like
what?
Like
what are you watching?
I just watch all sorts of stuff. I don't see movie trailers anymore on TV. Is that not a thing?
Yes, it's
I see it all the time.
All
Really?
the time, yes.
I never see any of them.
Really?
What are you watching?
I don't know if I thought maybe they just moved them to like social media and they said, well, why spend all the money to advertise? There's cheaper methods out there. People cord cut. Maybe we're not reaching enough people.
Stop watching the porn. No, I'm kidding.
Channel 99, and it's fuzzy.
All right, so this is Ken, who's played by Ryan Gosling. And by the way, if you're watching right now on YouTube, you can see the video of this where he's shirtless. So this is for you, Dawn Stensland. He's shirtless, singing about blonde fragility. Now, I want to get your opinion on if this is tongue in cheek or if they really are going for an agenda here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is cut 4, Daniel.
I just don't know who I am without you.
You're Ken.
But it's Barbie and Ken. There is no just Ken.
Doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number 2. No one knows how hard I tried. I have feelings that I can't explain. Driving me insane.
I mean, this is a spoof, right?
Yeah, it's funny.
I've been so polite, 'cause I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. Is it my destiny to live and die a life of blonde fragility?
It's a mockery.
This is a mockery, right?
Yes. And when did Ryan Gosling morph into Johnny Lawrence from The Karate Kid?
Well, obviously he has, he dyed his hair blonde for the Ken role, but
pretty jacked too.
Like I saw Ben Shapiro and these guys are burning Barbie things over. I understand.
Well,
I understand it. It's stupid.
Ben Shapiro, what did you expect?
But yeah, exactly. I don't know. Does this really seem anything worse than? I mean, wasn't
I would say no.
Wasn't Ryan Gosling Dawn in La La Land?
Yes.
I mean, that was another terrible movie. He
No,
just
it wasn't.
He
It
just
was
makes
adorable.
He
He's
just makes
adorable.
terrible movies.
No, he doesn't.
He's another one of these guys that's successful, yet everything he puts out stinks.
He's
Exactly.
gorgeous.
Exactly.
He has a great voice.
Well, I
He's
didn't
a
say
great actor.
I didn't say he wasn't a good-looking gentleman. I'm just saying that this whole thing about this is an attack on men. Like,
I don't
It's
see
not
that.
an attack on men. It's just sarcastic.
Well,
it's
when was
just
Ken,
funny?
when was Ken ever a tough guy in any rendition of Barbie?
Well,
Ken has always been kind of a little soft.
I've read that they make jokes about him not having his because Ken famously has no male parts, right?
Ken was tucking before tucking became a thing.
I just my whole thing with this movie is that it looks terrible. Obviously, it's not for me.
I would take my daughters to see that.
Would you?
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you?
Yeah. If they wanted to go, sure.
I
Not saying I would enjoy it, but I don't see any reason not to let them go.
No, it's
I don't
just
think there's political messaging.
I think it's great. They're just celebrating girlhood.
Yeah.
And, all little girls get dolls and Barbie dolls. I'm amazed that they got away with two blue-eyed, blonde-headed white people.
I know, not a lot of diversity in this movie, apparently.
Yeah, so I don't know how they got away with that one.
Yeah. I'm outraged. I'm going to go to the House and Senate today and start yelling.
I mean, Fox News has more diversity than them almost.
Almost.
So we've learned that Barbie is the opposite now of the Little Mermaid remake, basically?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
From a diversity standpoint? Because the little Ariel in the Little Mermaid was not a white chick, right?
She's a very light-skinned actress who's gorgeous and has a beautiful voice.
Poll question for all the guys out there. Ariel from the Little Mermaid or Barbie? Who you got? At 1210 WPHT on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm going with Ken.
Even though he has no genitals.
Right. So Dawn can just stare at him all day, and he can cut her grass.
So that is one piece of outrage I don't understand. This one, however, I do.
Okay.
So Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler were in Canada for the D23 Fan Expo, Disney 23 Fan Expo. I don't think this was in Canada. I think I just made that up. But
it sounds better in Canada.
It does sound better in Canada. So they're making a new Snow White movie. The director or producer or whatever of this Barbie movie is also Greta Gerwig, I think is her name is also doing the new Snow White movie.
Okay.
Gal Gadot plays the evil
mother?
Stepmother.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Rachel Zegler plays Snow White. And will this be a new take on Snow White? This is what their answer was, and I want to get both of your opinions on this.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
Yeah, I don't need the.
Oh my God!
But you know what though? I mean, her words. If you listen to what she's, she's not wrong. Women don't necessarily need men. Women can be fearless. So I get all of that. The women empowerment movement. I'm all for that. I'm not a meathead and a knuckle dragger from a cave. I got that. But it's definitely the opposite of Barbie for sure.
Well, Snow White and Wonder Woman were always my go-tos because of the brunette hair. In television. Look at Barbie. I mean, it's all blonde.
Right, you bucked the trend on.
So to me, I think that the creepy thing with Snow White is that, okay, your dad tragically dies, your stepmother poisons you, now you fall asleep for 100 years or whatever. It's all pretty creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole thing could use a redo.
Yeah.
So if they're going with the father, like inspired by her late father, I think that's a cool angle.
Doesn't this sound like the Hillary Clinton story? Snow White, the Hillary Clinton story. I mean, what is happening? I agree with you. There's some concerning scenes in Snow White. However, like, I don't know, like, is there anything wrong with the message in Snow White?
Not to my knowledge.
Well, what do you mean? What's the message?
Isn't that the prince that gets killed? Like,
yeah, but the message is you are poisoned by your. It's a domestic violence attempted murder.
Lord.
You're poisoned by your stepmother, the step monster.
Wow.
Right? I mean,
now
Disney,
we call them bonus moms.
Disney had total mother issues. And stepmother issues, clearly.
Yeah.
But that whole thing with like the blended family situation and the step monster, and I don't know, you could have fun with that one.
Yeah, when did we make this transition from stepdad, stepmom, stepdaughter, stepson to bonus blended?
Yeah.
Wait, is that a new thing?
I don't know.
I've been hearing that terminology a lot lately.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the YouTube chat are saying, okay, fine, then make a new movie. Don't change this story.
I think lost in all of this is the fact that Dawn Stensland is like Wonder Woman. If you think about it, 6 hours of radio, takes the kids to practice, then cuts the grass she's listening to Zealy while dinner's on the stove.
She does. She does.
And I have my golden lasso of truth.
What is
That's right.
happening?
Not.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I think the Barbie movie does a good job with, from what I'm hearing, a lot of sarcasm, which plays well with the audience. The Snow White one, if they take themselves too seriously, we'll see what the seven. What are the 7 guys or the 7
dwarfs?
The 7 dwarfs.
Oh, are they still calling them dwarfs?
I don't know. You can't say dwarfs these days.
I was just going to say that. That part of it, I think, is going to be.
Yeah.
I would assume. I don't know.
Right.
My question for you, Daniel Valdez, jump on the mic here. Did you see the movie over the weekend?
I did. I saw it Friday night.
Which one?
Barbie.
You did?
Did you see it by yourself?
No, I went with my girlfriend.
No.
Okay, his girlfriend.
Wait, no,
is that a violation
yes.
for 2 adults to go
Yes.
see Barbie?
It's a violation for a guy to go with his girlfriend.
It's not. He's a good boyfriend.
So 2 girls, like 2 female adults going is acceptable?
There were groups of girls. I think mostly teenagers.
Yeah.
Daniel, since you love to call all of us out here on this show, why don't you put in the YouTube chat, and as your boss, I'm commanding you to do this. If it is it a violation for a guy to go see the Barbie movie with his girlfriend?
Right on it, boss.
But you know what though? I mean, yes, it is. But if you're if you're dating somebody at his age or at any age really, and she's hot and she says, "Let's go see Barbie."
Yeah.
Every dude out there that's mocking Valdez, you're doing the same thing he's doing.
Well, I've seen his girlfriend. She's gorgeous.
Yes.
So like I understand.
And if you want to remain with the gorgeous girl, you're going to do what she says.
No,
sometimes.
you tell.
Gotta pick and choose.
You tell your lovely lady to go with her friends. I'm
there were
serious.
a lot of guys and girls in the theater with us.
Now, were they more?
they went with a group.
Were they more teenager oriented or were they adult?
I'm saying like there was a lot of couples in the theater, not just like it was like pretty much split half and half.
Young couples or older couples?
Young.
Okay.
So you rode your motorcycle there, and did you wear your pink pants?
Yeah, I had my pink suit on. Yeah.
Wow, the audience is very split right now. Violation of a guy to see Barbie with your girlfriend.
No.
It's split now, 50-50.
All right.
Look at you, Daniel.
All right. Both options polling better than DeSantis.
Well, what was your review of the movie?
It's a fine movie. I don't get the hype over it. It was average. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was pro-woman, which I don't have an issue with, but it was average.
John Paul on the YouTube chat, Nick wants to know why you always talk like you're 200 years old.
Why do I always talk like I'm
like this movie? Is it animated or is it live action? And why don't they show any? Why don't they show any trailers on TV commercials?
Was that
anymore?
in color or black and white? Where's my remote control?
A lot of people are saying to keep the girlfriend happy. This is getting a ton of votes, by the way. Look at you.
I think
and
it's
still
a prudent
split.
move. It's a prudent move.
It's still split 50-50. Go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT and vote on this. Actually, put the poll out on Twitter too, Daniel, if you will.
Yeah.
I think it takes a strong, confident man to go to the Barbie movie with his significant other.
I don't know.
I agree.
Do you?
Yeah.
So I'm the only one in the minority here saying, go see that with your friends.
Or you negotiate. Okay.
Isn't it like
I'll do Barbie if you do whatever in the next couple of weeks.
But isn't it like isn't it something that the girls can get together? They can dress up. They can, remember their childhood.
I
Daniel,
guess.
Daniel.
She wanted to go with
I
Daniel.
guess, but
Oh,
I guess, but
just
he says,
gotta keep him happy.
Hang on.
What's wrong?
I'm bringing in Anthony here.
Oh
too.
boy, we got
Anthony.
We got a 5-way.
Did Anthony go with Mary?
Did you go with your girlfriend too, Anthony?
I did not go with her yet, just because we were up in Connecticut. But I am going to see Barbie with her.
No.
See.
Now, see, here's the difference, though. And I think I'm right when I say this. Dorenzo has been with Mary for a couple of years, correct?
Going on 2 years.
Going
yes.
on 2 years. And Valdez has been with his girlfriend for 4 or 5 months?
Yeah.
There's a difference there. Valdez is still in the honeymoon phase, where he's got to pretty much do everything that she wants. I think Dorenzo has more wiggle room to say, you know what, I'm not doing it. And by the way, I take trains to Connecticut to see you. I'm not doing Barbie this time.
It's a violation to both of them, actually.
Wow.
No, look, seriously, come on.
I like going to the movies and whatever. She usually has to see stuff I want to see, so I'll deal with it.
You tell your woman to go see it with her friends or go by yourself.
Yeah.
Because this train ain't going into that movie theater
Greg,
to see some terrible Barbie movie.
Oh, man.
Greg, who's on the phone with his wife. Yes, honey.
A lot of females are really mad. Randy Weingarten has some thoughts.
Really pisses me off. No, there's nothing sexist about this. This. Look, we always talk about the difference between men and women on this show all the time.
Usually from a biology standpoint.
Is there not more of a difference between men and women than going to see the Barbie movie?
All right, moment of truth. When is the last time, Greg Stalker, you saw a chick flick with the wife? How many years has it been?
So I'm lucky because my wife actually hates chick flicks, and I'm the one who actually says, "Oh, you see this new rom-com? Do you want to see it?" She goes, "Really? You want to watch that movie?" She's into really dark stuff, so I picked right with, as far as females go.
Dawn, when is the last time you and Larbear went and saw a rom-com or a chick flick in the theaters? I know you guys have done Springsteen and stuff like that, but been a long time?
I can't even think of it.
Drive-through days? Back to the old drive-through theater? Or drive-in, I mean?
When was the last big chick flick?
Well, I have no idea.
I can't even think of it.
Bridesmaids?
Yeah.
It'll probably be in the Morning Mystery Movie clip today.
Bridesmaids wasn't a chick flick. That was just a great comedy movie. That wasn't a chick flick. But
I didn't see it. I actually saw that with girlfriends.
Okay.
But
I mean,
Larry would have gone.
Ryan Gosling is shirtless in half of this movie.
What's the
Daniel,
issue with that?
Daniel, he's shirtless in half of this.
Okay.
Maybe Valdez.
That's why Daniel went.
He's looking for motivation. He's like, how do I get buff? All right, number one, I got to be able to afford to eat. And then number two, I got to start lifting weights. That's how I get on the Ryan Gosling plan.
All right, let's see. Where did we end up on the poll, Daniel? Do you know?
51%. It's a violation. 49.
Wow, that's close.
That's really close.
It's within the margin of error.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Are you calling for a recount?
Mm-hmm. Okay. No hanging chads either.
All right, let's get back to. By the way, you're both dismissed, and we need to have a discussion about your manliness.
10:03 conference room.
Yeah, and your competence for this job. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to see Oppenheimer first.
Okay.
I just wanted to see it from Margot Robbie.
Puck 30 says turn in your man card.
Yeah.
I agree. Turn in your man card.
I'm a big Margot Robbie fan.
Oh, she's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's also really everything she's in.
Oh,
she's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the issues that people care about.
If anyone wants to hear from Valdez or Dorenzo anymore, they'll be doing a podcast later this week.
Tennessee lawmaker Justin Jones was on with Caitlin Collins last week. And you did your big take, Nick, on the Jason Aldean song, and we played the clip from over the weekend where he was in Cincinnati, and he just went off. Well, let me play it again for those of you who are just tuning in right now. I'm going to do cut one here, Daniel. This was Jason Aldean at Riverbend Stadium in Cincinnati on Friday night as part of his Highway Desperado tour. He addressed the controversy surrounding his song, Try That in a Small Town, and this is what he said.
Well, I gotta tell you guys, man, it's been a long ass week. It's been a long week, and I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff suggesting I'm this, suggesting I'm that. Hey, here's the thing. Here's one thing I feel. I feel like everybody's entitled to their opinion. You can think something all you want to. It doesn't mean it's true, right? So, what I am is a proud American. I'm proud to be from here. I love our country. I want to see it restored to what it once was before all this bull started happening to us. I love my country, I love my family, and I will do anything to protect that. I can tell you that right now. But here's what I want to say. A lot of things out there, and one thing I love, you guys know how it is this day and age, cancel culture is a thing. That's something that if people don't like what you say, they try and make sure that they can cancel you, which means try and ruin your life, ruin everything. One thing I saw this week was a bunch of country music fans that could see through a lot of the bullshit, all right?
So there you go, Jason Aldean over the weekend.
Yes. The big difference between the left and the right is the left, if they hear something they don't like, they will try to end you. The right will just flat out say, hey, you have freedom of speech. You don't like it, too bad. We all have an opinion. That's the major difference between these two sides here.
So Tennessee lawmaker Justin Jones, who was censured last month or the month before for protesting what he called gun control, was on with Caitlin Collins over the weekend. And he said that this is a lynching anthem. And he rips Jason Aldean for filming this at a lynching site. This is cut 2.
I wonder what your reaction was when you heard the song and saw the video.
Yes, well, thank you so much again for having me, Caitlin. As a Tennessee lawmaker, as the youngest black lawmaker in our state, I felt like we had an obligation and a duty to condemn this heinous, vile, racist song that is really about harkening back to days past. There's no accident that he filmed this in the site of the Murray County Courthouse where the race riot happened, and where as well as the 1927 lynching of a young man who was 18 years old, Henry Cho, occurred. This song is about normalizing racist violence, vigilantism, and white nationalism, and it's about glorifying a South that we are moving forward from and that we're trying to move forward from here in Tennessee.
And Aldean, obviously, he didn't write the song, but clearly sings it. And you know, for some of the lyrics, we were looking at them earlier. One of them is cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag, and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. We'll try that in a small town. Are those the lyrics that you're referencing?
Those lyrics and the lyric that says, see how far you make it down the road. I mean, this is a lynching anthem. It's an anthem that reminds me of the stories of young men like Trayvon Martin, Ralph Yarl, young men, Ahmaud Arbery, who were killed by white vigilantes. I mean, this song is not about small towns, because if it was about small towns, where was Jason Aldean when the Murray County people were fighting for their clean water? Where was he when hospitals in these small towns were closing? Where was he when people in these communities were suffering from starvation wages?
So Justin Jones is a clown. He lives in Nashville, and when I was working in a divorce law office, the office was right across the street from all the government buildings because Nashville is the capital of Tennessee. So Justin Jones was probably no more than 2 or 3 blocks away from me when I was working. And here's the problem with all of this. This has nothing to do with lynching. This has nothing to do with race. This has everything to do with lawlessness in big blue cities where it was permitted, and everybody basically said, you know what, yeah, let them burn the cars, let them flip over some stuff, let them smash some windows, get it out of their system. And it happened in a lot of these cities across the country. But the point being is, this will not be permissible in a town or an area that still believes in community and getting along. And oh, by the way, that has law enforcement that has not been defunded or still believes in law and order. This has nothing to do with race. And it really doesn't matter if you rioted, if you were black, white, Asian, straight, gay, Hispanic. Jason Aldean is flat out saying, as many other people are, that we are not going to live in a world where it's okay to commit violence the way you do. That's all it is. So if that bothers you and you think that's racist, knock your socks off. Go right ahead. Caitlin will have you on her show anytime.
By the way, Caitlin Collins, from that small clip I saw, she does not have the chops to be a 9 p.m. host. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? I agree.
It was really... she didn't ask any interesting questions.
No.
The guest was way more entertaining than she was.
She only seems to come to life when it's Trump. You notice that?
That's a good point.
She's got a lot of piss and vinegar in her when it comes to Trump.
Mhm.
But when everything else, she's very subdued.
Yeah, I was not impressed with her line of questioning on that.
Yeah, I think she might have bitten off a little bit more than she can chew.
Vice President Kamala Harris, was in Jacksonville, Florida on Friday with a message about the ongoing controversy over teaching African-American history in Florida. I don't know if you guys saw this. She said she blasted what the state's new history curriculum teaching students that slaves in the U.S. actually benefited from slavery. That was her words. This was Kamala Harris on Friday. Cut 11 here.
Just yesterday in the state of Florida, they decided middle school students will be taught that enslaved people benefited from slavery. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it.
Well, number one, the left is the best at gaslighting. They've mastered that craft, no doubt about it. But this is probably, I'm assuming there's a follow-up to this in regards to what was actually in the curriculum. Because I feel like when it comes to the state of Florida and any sort of education that deals with the history of African-American studies, the left takes everything either out of context or out of proportion.
So Ron DeSantis did a press conference he was in Iowa, I believe, on Friday after these comments. And this was his reaction to this when a reporter asked him about it. This is cut 13.
Vice President Harris's order of remarks in Jacksonville saying to your Board of Education's revision of public school curriculum on slavery that, quote, they want to replace history with lies. What do you think of that and for the trial?
I mean, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. It's totally outrageous. You guys can look on the website of the Florida Department of Education. You know, they got a lot of scholars together to do a lot of standards and a lot of different things, but these are the most robust standards in African American history, probably anywhere in the country. Anyone who reads that will see that it's very thorough, very factual, and for them to try to demagogue it, look, that may have worked in the past. Nobody's buying their nonsense anymore, and so she's going to come down to the state of Florida and try to chirp and try to demagogue. All she's doing is ignoring the responsibilities that the administration has to secure our border. They're failing at that. They're not developing enough domestic energy. They need to. They're not doing what we need to do to counteract China in the Pacific. And so on and on it goes. They're dropping the ball. So it doesn't surprise me that they're trying to do that. But this board, they got these people there, and they really were very thorough. So I would just encourage everyone to read it for yourself. Yes, ma'am. Well, you should talk to them about it. I mean, I didn't do it, and I wasn't involved in it. But I think what they're doing is I think that they're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life. But the reality is, all of that is rooted in whatever is factual. They listed everything out. And if you have any questions about it, just ask the Department of Education. You can talk about those folks. But I mean, these were scholars who put that together. It was not anything that was done politically.
In this curriculum, it says instruction includes how slaves develop skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
Which is factually correct. And as anybody knows, with any of these curriculums, whether it's in school districts or in colleges, it's all available online. All you got to do is go to websites and download the PDFs or print the curriculums off, and you can see exactly what is going to be covered in the course. But this is the left again, just disregarding any specific facts to go to their playbook of fear and racism and just completely trying to keep a segment of a population at odds with other people. This is what they do. All they do is divide. Nice work out of DeSantis, by the way. I thought he handled that really well. So there's a compliment by Ron.
And I don't know.
From Ron.
I don't know if I would have used it, saying it, parlayed it into careers, or whatever, skills.
Right. Well, of course.
I don't know if
it's
that,
terrible. Yes. Yeah. But the end result ultimately, like if you end up actually learning, like again, it's the never-ending like drive to act as if in 2023 people's lives are not better than they were 70, 80 years ago. That's what the left will try to tell you.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy was on CBS Face the Nation yesterday. He called. They asked about this dust-up between Harris and DeSantis, and he called Vice President Harris an icon.
A icon?
An icon, yes.
I'm gonna go to Google actually dictionary.com and find the definition of icon.
Cut 15 here.
Go ahead.
On the politics front, since you're there, I lived in New York a long time, so I know this issue. But for those who are elsewhere in the country, let's go national here. Nikki Haley, in particular, has focused in on the Vice President Kamala Harris in a lot of her rhetoric, and she's done it as a way of pointing to President Biden's age. The RNC is posting frequently clips from her speeches, flubs. They are really taking aim at her. Why do you think Republicans have calculated it is a good strategy and that the vice president makes Democrats vulnerable?
I mean, this is a classic us versus them playbook that unfortunately the other party too often than not wheels out. And it's frankly offensive. She is an icon. She is an icon in the South Asian community, in the African American community, among millions of women in this country. I frankly think it's offensive, and I think at the end of the day, it's a losing strategy. Folks want to focus on the strength of our country. The Biden-Harris team has delivered 13 million jobs. Over 50, it's been over 50 years since unemployment has stayed this low, under 4%. The investment in infrastructure, the investment in communities. Yeah. At the end of the day, the record will win out.
Number one, what's going on with his hair? If you're watching the video on YouTube, his hair is just
That's his new do, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's longer.
Yeah.
He curls at New Jersey with a curling iron.
So the definition of icon in this context is a person or thing regarded as a representative symbol or as worthy of veneration. That's a person or thing regarded as a representative symbol or as worthy of veneration. Is Kamala Harris?
What is veneration?
I have no idea, but I don't think. And when I think of icons, I think of a lot of people before I think. Now, is she the first ever African American female vice president? Yes. Is she good at her job? Absolutely not. So I guess as far as busting through glass ceilings, she pulled off a historic feat. She should be proud of that. But when you look at her job resume in this role, she is probably the least qualified vice president in the history of the position.
Veneration is a feeling of profound respect, reverence, honor. It's a noun.
Wonder how many people respected her when she was locking people up in the Bay Area as a prosecutor for the littlest offense. Because remember, back in the day, she was law and order. She did not play around.
Let's go here. What makes her an icon?
I don't know.
The fact that she's the first African American vice president?
Look, you knucklehead, because he said it.
She's the face of DEI. She's a DEI hire.
Aren't we past that though?
No.
I mean, we are the most colorblind society we've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter now.
We should be past all of it, and we should be going back, as the Supreme Court has said when it comes to college admissions with affirmative action, you get where you get based on merit. And she doesn't have any merit in this role.
I don't, maybe you could look in 2008 as the country electing the first African-American president in Barack Obama as a but is Barack Obama iconic because of that?
Yes.
He is?
Two terms, 8 years.
Yes.
Regardless of his policies or failures or whatever, but the fact that he did what he did and was in for 8 years, he's going to go down as an iconic figure in the history of American lore.
Yep. He's loved.
Yeah.
I would say That's a fair statement. If Murphy had said he's an icon or iconic, fair statement.
Yeah.
So then
this vice president, a total failure. They shouldn't even talk about it.
She's a zero across the board in this role. She
So
might
then
have
it-
been good in the past
Disaster.
life.
So then it doesn't matter what you do or what you accomplish. It's being the first at something that makes you an icon.
No, I think people who voted for Barack Obama think that he did a lot.
I think to be an icon in this context, you got to be the first to do something and be good in doing it. Nobody's ever Kamala Harris is a walking parody bit. She is mocked. She is mocked by everybody. She's mocked by people on the left. I mean, her numbers are lower than Joe's, and Joe is Jimmy Carter low.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
No, I'm not arguing about the Kamala Harris thing. I don't think she's iconic. I'm arguing about the fact that Barack Obama is an icon. I look, it was a pivotal moment in our country. Agreed. But iconic?
I think
I don't know.
because I think he resonates outside of politics with people. I think he's liked and respected in entertainment, in pop culture. Like we were just talking earlier about how the story was, oh my God, it's Obama's playlist. He's got Luke Combs on his Spotify account. Like he kind of has been one of these guys that's crossed over at times from the political world to the entertainment world. Almost like the opposite. It's like the inverse of Trump. Like Trump was big in entertainment, a celebrity, and then went politics. Obama, on a lighter scale, has left politics and is still involved in politics. But you've seen him making cameos on the late night shows, and he's out there, and people think something's up.
I just feel like we as a society need to get past this and to say that because of somebody's skin color or sexual preference or whatever,
yes,
because they do this, that's an iconic moment,
right?
I don't know.
I'm so over the identity politics thing.
Okay,
that's what the left thrives on, though. They don't care if you're good or not. They just want you to check off boxes and be historical firsts.
The icon, Kamala Harris, was in Florida over the weekend. She said this. I'm going to go with cut 10 here, Daniel. Speaking of icons.
And take a look, because, there are a lot of teachers here. I think so. I'm going to tell you, one of the things I love is Venn diagrams. Any math teachers in the room? I love Venn diagrams. And I have done an exercise of looking to see from where are we seeing the attacks on things like voting rights, LGBTQ rights, a woman's right to make decisions about her own body, book bans. And you will not be surprised to know a lot of them revert to the same source.
So she did Venn diagrams,
right?
All of that.
That's how you kind of break everything down. You just throw them all in a diagram, and you get the circles and everything else that goes with the Venn diagram, and you're able to process it and comprehend about the injustices. I would argue, Kamala, that there's no bans against the trans community. We're at a point now where it feels like the left, which is known for canceling and banning and shutting things down, is playing the receiving end of the ban, and yet most people are saying, just go live your life. We don't really care what you do. Just don't tell us how we have to acquiesce to, I don't know, a guy being in a girl's bathroom when they don't belong in there.
Let's go in the Wayback Machine, shall we?
I love the Wayback Machine.
This is 1991. Then Senator Joe Biden was talking about a Supreme Court nominee and about how this person will be making decisions into the year 2020. He also said that he will be dead by the year 2020 in 1990. So this is Joe Biden with a little vim and vigor in his speech pattern from all the way back to 1991. Cut 6 here, Daniel.
The decision will affect what happens in this country long after Senator Biden is gone, long after President Bush is gone, long after President Reagan's administrations are forgotten. If they live, if Justice Souter, God willing, lives, as long as the average age of the court now, he'll be making landmark decisions in the year 2020. I'll be dead and gone in all probability.
Joe Bin.
And so it's important.
It's very important. There you go.
So
He'll be dead and gone in 2020.
He was forecasting his demise and death, and who knew that he would go on to be the president in 2020 when he was supposed to be dead?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
And here we are in 2023, and I'm not sure that he even knows he's alive right now. Oh, man. How young he looked in that video. That was 32 years ago?
Sure.
Wow.
Something like that. Man, a long time ago, 1991. It doesn't feel like that long ago.
He was 40. He was 49 at that time. Wow.
Funny, he has more hair now, right? It's funny how that happens. Him and Phil Murphy are going the opposite way, right? It's funny. As they get older, they have more hair. You know, that's how life works.
Right.
JFK's grandson, Jack Schlossberger, weighed in on his cousin RFK's presidential candidacy.
Okay.
Because, you know, this kid is joined the Lucky Sperm Club, so I guess he...
The Lucky Sperm Club?
We should care.
So membership has its benefits.
I mean, we should care what Jack Schlossberg says about who he's voting for.
Hey, how about this for a wedding? The Schlossberg-Heinerschneid wedding.
But, like, seriously, like... RFK Jr.'s sister weighed in, and like the family members are condemning everything. He's like, does anybody care what the grandson of JFK thinks about anything?
I don't know. My sister chimes in. Does anybody care about Aaron's opinion on the show?
I do.
Yeah, I don't.
Dawn does.
Dawn loves her.
Yeah, we love Aaron.
All right, so this is JFK's grandson, Jack Schlossberger, condemning
Schlossberg.
Whatever.
Zuckerberg.
Whatever. What his cousin RFK said, and just wants to say how he's voting for the Biden-Harris ticket.
Yeah.
Cut 7.
Hi, I'm Jack Schlossberg, and I have something to say.
Oh, boy.
Oh, great. Then say
President
it.
John F. Kennedy is my grandfather, and his legacy is important. It's about a lot more than Camelot and conspiracy theories. It's about public service and courage. It's about civil rights, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and landing a man on the moon. Joe Biden shares my grandfather's vision for America, that we do things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. And he is in the middle of becoming the greatest progressive president we've ever had.
Wow.
Under Biden, we've added 13 million jobs. Unemployment is at its lowest in 60 years. Biden passed the largest investment in infrastructure since the New Deal.
By the way, this is this generation of everybody cares what I have to say.
I know. And he's going against his own flesh and blood, his own family, to prop up the lowest polling president
You never go against
in
the
40 years.
You never go against the family. Isn't that a Godfather thing?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, here's the thing about this. Is there no loyalty anymore in like families?
No.
Okay, if you're not going to vote for your cousin or brother or whatever, fine, then don't. But don't make it like
Because everybody wants to be heard and be a soundbite and a click and a gif and a meme.
a little bit more from Lucky Sperm Club Jack.
And the largest investment in green energy ever. He's appointed more federal judges than any president since my grandfather. He ended our longest war. He ended...
By the way, do you think that this guy has anything to worry about in life?
Oh, no.
Can you imagine his inheritance? Like, give me a break.
And if he's gushing over Joe in his first term, just imagine how much he'll be gushing over Joe if Joe gets reelected.
Ain't seen nothing yet.
A little bit more.
The COVID pandemic, and he ended Donald Trump. These are the issues that matter. And if my cousin, Bobby Kennedy Jr., cared about any of them, he would support Joe Biden too. Instead, he's trading in on Camelot, celebrity, conspiracy theories, and conflict for personal gain and fame.
Oh,
seems like that's
I've
what you're
listened to
doing
him. I know him.
If I
I have no idea why anyone thinks he should be president. What I do know is his candidacy is an embarrassment. Let's not be distracted again by somebody's vanity project.
Wow.
I am excited to vote for Joe Biden in my state's primary and again in the general election. And I hope you will too.
No, there's about 12 of you out there that actually are also excited to vote for Joe again. Yeah, totally taking swipes at the family. And look, I've been critical of RFK too. I said I've heard too much about the assassination. I've heard too much about some of these theories with COVID in the water and stuff. Like there is some truth to what he's saying there towards the end, where yes, we need to if you're RFK Jr., you need to focus on the kitchen table issues, energy prices, gas, grocery bills. This is, and we've had many different people on both sides that have entered the race for 2024 that have had their little twist and their little spin on, and I don't need every candidate to sound the same and look the same. So there is something to be said for, what makes you unique. But at the end of the day, most Americans are just trying to figure out how we can have a better life on a paycheck to paycheck basis.
One more, and then we'll get to Dawn. Speaking of his cousin, RFK Jr., he was on with Maria Bartiromo yesterday, and he said that if a government has the capacity to censor its critics, it has a license for any atrocity.
Censor speech, when we look back in history, they're never the good guys. And it's inevitable that if you do start censoring speech, because government abuses every power that it's given, and if government suddenly has the capacity to censor its critics, it has a license for any atrocity.
So you've thought about this a lot, and you said, in the hearing that this is the beginning of totalitarianism. I want to know what you can do about it. You've thought about this. So, I mean, they've censored, COVID information, Russia collusion information. The Trump administration dealt with it every day. The media and the way government works with Twitter. To try to suppress truth and amplify lies. What is your plan to change it?
I mean, the alarming thing that's come out in Judge Doty's decision, this is a federal district judge, just issued a 155-page decision forbidding the White House from having any contact with social media companies because it abused those contacts so badly over the past 3 years. What we now know is that the White House had deployed an army of federal agencies, including the CIA, the FBI, the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, the IRS, and many others, to threaten Facebook, Google, and Twitter with withdrawing their Section 230 immunity, which is an existential threat. Those companies cannot exist without that immunity, and they were told that if they did not censor the president's opponents, critics of these policies, that they would lose that immunity.
Unbelievable.
So two things here. Number one, if there's one guy on the left, so to speak, that has as much disdain for federal agencies as Trump and DeSantis do, it's RFK Jr. I think he totally wants to gut and abolish, all of these corrupt agencies. But number two, and you missed the big take on Friday, Stalker, because you were out sick, but it was on RFK and censorship. He was so good last Thursday in front of the House. I mean, he had a 10.
I watched it.
He had a 10-minute dissertation that was as good as you can get when it comes to censorship.
Everything he was saying, I agree wholeheartedly with. So, and by the way, boy, that resonates with people. For those of you, for those people that are paying attention now, and there's not a ton of you, that really resonates.
Yep. All right, that'll do it for What's on the Cut Sheet Part 1. Part 2 in just about an hour, 8:36 Monday morning. We get to Dawn Stensland's Big 3 at 8.
It's the Big 3 at 8 on Kayal and Company.
Sponsored by Malvern Retreat House. Number 1, X marks the spot for Elon Musk, the tech billionaire, and his Twitter CEO, Linda Yaccarino, are giving the old name The Bird, replacing Twitter's iconic Bluebird. After nearly 17 years as the company's logo, they're giving it the boot. X is here, let's do this. Yaccarino, who was educated locally here in this area, tweeted out this morning, I guess we're now going to say X'd out, this morning with a picture of the company's new logo, which is a big X. It's like a big white X with a black background.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for later today post-nap to click on my Twitter app and then it opens and then it reboots and it looks different and I have no idea how to use it. So Stalker might actually get his wish about me getting off Twitter. I might have no idea how to use X moving forward. This could be it, folks.
Has a company ever rebranded like this and been successful?
Odyssey.
Thank you. Thank you, Don. Thank you for saving me there. Thank you for saving me there.
Yep. Remember that?
Yep.
Dawn is locked in today.
She is.
I like it. How about 2400 Market from the World Headquarters, Greg?
That's right.
Remember that?
Odyssey,
Just a couple
World
years ago.
Headquarters.
Wait, yeah, we rebranded right before the pandemic, right?
Yeah, and got a whole new building
because
right
it
before.
went from radio.com to Odyssey, right?
Yeah.
I remember that. Because I got hired as when it was under the umbrella of Entercom. And then like 2 weeks later, the whole thing changed. I'm like, oh, cool. Got an email. There you go.
So there's that.
There's that.
So there's so much going on. So besides that, while Elon is all rebranding with the X, Mark Zuckerberg announced he's now a blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
Telling you, man, he's gonna take it to Elon.
No, he's not.
I can feel it.
He's the Meta boss is 39, posting images to his Instagram, his Insta platform over the weekend, showing off his new, blue belt, and he gets a little certificate. He's very excited about it. So he's 39. Elon Musk is 51.
Yep.
By the way, Elon had a grueling training session with Georges St. Pierre earlier in July.
Okay.
So Elon's working out too.
So
Supposedly they're going to have a big match.
So Zuck is 39. I'm 39. Zuck has a blue belt.
He's 5'7". Elon is 5'11".
I have a golf belt. Zuck's got a 6-pack. I have a 6-pack of Bush at home. And me and Zuck have a lot in common. Same kind of belts, the whole bit. He's 39?
Yeah, he's 39.
I thought our boy Vivek
Ramaswamy.
I thought he was impressive at 37. I didn't think Zuck was 30. I thought Zuck was closer to 50.
I thought he was older too.
Yeah.
I believe he's 39. I'll fact check that.
Now I hate him even more.
By the way, speaking of these high-tech billionaires, Jeff Bezos is with the Washington Post on track to lose $100 million this year.
Good. Keep writing stupid articles.
So, yeah.
Boy,
Take
between his losses and Musk's losses, there's a lot of money just being blown. Must be nice.
Yeah, it must be nice to have that
I
much
know,
to
right?
lose.
Right?
Well, this will take you from losses to wins. A huge crowd for the Pocono Raceway, boasting its largest ever NASCAR crowd in more than a decade for Denny Hamlin's big win. Hamlin did get booed, though, by a packed Pocono crowd, unhappy apparently with how the driver shoved Kyle Larson's car into the wall over the final laps. So they were booing him. But this was more than 50,000 grandstand seats. Pocono sold out the NASCAR race and boasted its largest crowd. This is since 2010. I was looking up the number.
Wow. Okay.
Since 2010. So kind of cool.
Yeah. And so you had
Huge crowd.
Yeah. Speaking of that, huge crowds in a race, we had one person yesterday that had to go in the ambulance because they collided with a vehicle.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's a lot of people spilling yesterday, dropping things, water bottles all over the road. Yeah.
Eek.
I came out of that race looking like a veteran.
I know, you did.
I didn't fall. I didn't cause any accidents. I didn't get hurt.
You looked great. You look great. It was easy. It was easy for you, basically.
Thanks, Dawn.
We knew you do. And how much money overall? They're still tallying it up.
Over 18,000
for us, but she meant collectively.
Oh wow, I have no idea.
I think it was over $1 million.
I think it was over. I think
they've raised
they're
over.
tallying still, but
I think it's over 13 million over the course of 36 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Families backing the badge.
Yep.
So great cause. Well, Malvern Retreat House is our sponsor. Visit Malvern Retreat House, the nation's largest Catholic retreat house, located right there in Chester County. Malvern Retreat House, hosting men's and women's retreats, couples retreats, spiritual direction, recovery retreats, and much more. Retreat from all the noise. Hear God's voice at malvernretreat.com. Storms moving in within about 20 minutes. This is Kayal & Company Big 3.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 855-839-1210, the phone number. Coming up next, Fox News hosts are pushing Donald Trump to join the Fox News GOP debate, but I wouldn't hold your breath. And also, speaking of holding your breath, if you think you're going to have privacy and safety and security on the popular search browsers and search engines like Google, I wouldn't hold your breath. That's why you got to go with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo and the DuckDuckGo app is a browser like Chrome, but it's private, and it blocks trackers. It comes with DuckDuckGo Private Search, which is kind of like Google, but it will not spy on your searches. And it's very diverse. If you're an Android user, an Apple user, Windows, Mac, you can get it right now. You know, you're looking for something that's a big deal in your life, maybe a new set of golf clubs, a new vehicle. You're trying to do all your due diligence, and then next thing you know, you're done with that, and you move on to another site, and then those pop-up ads show up. Like, wait a minute, I was just looking at the Honda Ridgeline, and now it's on foxnews.com in the corner, and I can't get to the link I'm trying to get to. It's because they're tracking you. They're spying you. Don't do it anymore. Don't allow it. Download DuckDuckGo. It is an internet privacy company, and it's independent. It's local. It's not on the West Coast, and you could use it today on any of your devices, laptops, computers, you name it. DuckDuckGo.com or download the app today.
Don't give in to that constant joint pain. Take control. Take back your quality of life today with help from QC Kinetics. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. QC Kinetics is helping people here every day with their amazing non-surgical treatments which repair and restore damaged joint tissue. So they use the latest advances in regenerative medicine, taking your body's own healing agents, concentrating them, and then putting them directly into the area where you're suffering with that agonizing pain. This incredible non-invasive approach helps you take back control of your body, relieving the pain in your knees or your hips, shoulder, or back. No invasive surgery, no harmful drugs or steroids, no downtime. Listen, summertime needs to be about having fun. Call now for your free consultation with QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000, QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Police say a man's body was pulled from the Delaware River Sunday night. President Biden will designate a national monument honoring Emmett Till and his mother, Mamie Till Mobley. Barbie boasts the biggest box office opening of 2023, making $155 million this weekend.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
You're out of breath. Have a constant dry cough that won't go away. It could be interstitial lung disease. ILD is rare, but it's serious. It can be the fight of your life. And you can't face the fight of your life if you don't know you're in it. Ask your doctor. Find a pulmonologist. Get answers. There's hope. There's help, but don't wait. Go to lungsandyou.com/fight ILD.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right. TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Download the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. And take us along wherever you're going this summer. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
Many times I tried to tell you, many times I cried alone. Boys, I'm surprised how well you cut my feelings to the bone. Don't wanna leave you really, I've invested too much time to give you up that easy, to the doubts that complicate your mind. We belong to the light, we belong to the dark.
Kayal and Company, 846. Welcome back in. Live here on this Monday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us on YouTube. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, a difficult path for a third-party bid. It was one of the big takes we gave last week, and now I have been validated with that big take and vindicated. The latest poll from Monmouth suggesting what I alluded to last week. We'll get to that coming up in a little bit. And then also here in a moment, why Joe Biden is so unpopular. And we also have some polling data regarding Trump v. Biden. But kind of interesting, Donald Trump has taken the path, and I absolutely agree with this from the standpoint of I'm not getting in the ring. I'm not debating early on. I'm polling off the charts right now. Nobody is remotely close. One of the latest polls I saw, Trump was about 56%. And in second place, DeSantis had dropped from about 19-20% all the way down to 12 or 13%. So you've got Trump with about a 40-point lead on DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy, as he has now kind of moved really close to DeSantis in regards to who is in second place on the GOP side of things for the Republican primary. But the former president was on Fox News, and Trump has refused to commit to the August 23rd debate. And he indicated as recently as yesterday that he is leaning against it, saying, quote, when you have a big lead, you don't do it, he told interviewer Maria Bartiromo. So in the meantime, a lot of the Fox hosts have taken it upon themselves. They're almost taking a page out of Stocker's playbook with pandering and asking for favors. And now you have the Piers Morgans, the Bill Hemmers, the Dana Perinos of the world that are on their shows on the network, including Brian Kilmeade, that are basically saying, we would like for you to be here. It's a ratings push.
Of course, because nobody's going to watch it if Trump's not in it.
No. I mean, think about how low it would rate. I don't know if it would rate as low as, some of these CNN programs. But if you have a Fox debate where it's Ramaswamy, Scott, Haley, and Pence, or throw in Christie, or if you want to go 4 people or 5 people, as long as Trump is not there, it is going to be a small fraction of what it could be with Trump in the arena.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you think he should debate?
No, not right now. At this point in time, as we move forward, yes. But right now, what does he gain from it? I mean, he's going to get attacked on certain issues, and if he wants to deal with that, he could just go on CNN and then they'll pepper him with those questions.
But this is where he shines, man. I mean, you really want to get in front of an audience and you want to do what you do best. He debates better than anybody I've ever seen.
According to one advisor, the former president is, quote, highly unlikely to participate. And then here's a very interesting, and I think this is true. This is from Kellyanne Conway, Fox News contributor.
Sure.
He's
Former
not
advisor.
Yes, he's not being a coward at all. He's being a front runner, and I think that's very true. And there are other people that are saying, secretly, including, and I know a lot of people don't like Piers Morgan, but here's where I will agree with Piers Morgan. Here's what he says, quote, if you're watching, Donald, come on. Get on that stage and show us what you're made of. If you want to be president again, you've got to come out and face the debate music. You want to secretly. That's the part right there that I agree with. I think deep down inside, because Trump doesn't back down from a fight. He doesn't back down from a debate. I think, ego-wise, the adrenaline rush, he wants to do it, but I think he's using a sound strategy right now of, look, I'm up 40 points on second place. At this point, nothing to gain from it, even though I think deep down he wants to.
Nothing, but you say nothing to gain from it, but there's also nothing to lose from it. He's not going to go down in the polls if he doesn't
That's
debate.
a good point. That's a good point. And who has the chops to debate him? There's nobody that he would be fearful of from a debate standpoint. I mean, Vivek's a great speaker. He can't spar with Trump. DeSantis is too robotic. Even though I like some of DeSantis' messages and his policy for sure, he's not going to be able to do it. I mean, he'll blow through Tim Scott and Nikki Haley. They've got absolutely no chance. They're too soft-spoken. They're going to get ran over. Christie's the only guy who's tried to come out publicly and claim, I can gas bag with Trump, and the only way to go to get past Trump is to go through him, not around him. But I think even in that stage, think about the charisma of Trump against the kind of the braggadocious tough guy act of Christie. I don't think that would resonate with a lot of Americans. I don't think it would work for Christie, although I think from a viewership standpoint, right now, from a debate standpoint, more people would like to see Trump and Christie than Trump and DeSantis. Even though DeSantis or now even Ramaswamy are the second highest in the polls, I think from a theater standpoint, because DeSantis doesn't deliver theater. He's just too robotic and just painful to absorb.
Yeah, it's not going to be. I mean, there's no question that if Trump is not in these debates, they get half the audience that they would if he was.
Yep.
I understand what you're saying. It's like he's so far ahead. He doesn't want to punch down. I get that. But, like, this is where he does his best work. And by the way, he has an opportunity to really get in front of an audience and spell out his agenda rather than rehashing 2020 all over again.
Right.
So I think it's a mistake for him not to do these debates. I would do every single one of them. I would do every single one of them because he's so good at it.
I can see him skipping August 23rd and then showing up for whatever the next one is on the calendar. I don't know what that is right now, but.
Well, now if I'm Ron DeSantis or I'm somebody like that who probably isn't very good at debates, I would think twice about doing that because you're gonna go. If Trump is in that debate versus DeSantis goes way down, Trump goes way up.
Yes,
just because of the way the debate. He's just so good in debates.
Yep, totally agree. 855-839-1210. On the other side of the ledger, coming off of the weekend shows, some interesting polling data and some commentary on the current president, Joe Biden. Let's take a listen to this piece of audio about why Joe Biden is so unpopular.
In something titled, Why is Joe Biden so unpopular? Andrew Romano writes that at this point in his term, Joe Biden is the second in modern U.S. history. Jimmy Carter was the first. Romano cites polling data from 538, where Biden's approval rating 910 days into his term stood at just 39%.
I just got a second of deja vu there. I went back 15 years in my career. Sorry.
I think that's the first time we've played Smirkanish's voice.
Yes. I mean, 39%, and you look at some of the reasons why, and we could go through them, and we've done them 100,000 times as to why Joe is so unpopular. And now some of that data actually matches up with the latest Harvard-Harris poll that has Trump with a 5-point lead on Joe Biden, 45% to 40%. Amongst independents, Trump leads Biden by 18 points, which is very interesting. Trump at 45%, Biden at 27%. And then on the GOP side of things, Trump 52%. He's got a 40-point lead on DeSantis at 12%, Ramaswamy at 11%, Pence at 7%, Haley at 4%, Scott and Christie at 2%. But we've talked about Vivek. And now here he is in a handful of these polls, and he's right there with DeSantis. Now, Vivek's moved up a little bit. He's kind of separated from the pack of Pence, Haley, Scott, and Christie, as DeSantis has gone from that 20% range down to basically the low teens at 13 or 12%. So fascinating to see that. And if Vivek could maybe be, because I think we all agree, I think everybody in this audience and everybody on this show agrees that Vivek's going to be a part of somebody's cabinet. You got to imagine. He's just too young, too bright, too well-spoken. And he's really, I think, of all the people that have entered this race on the Republican side of things, from where they were from a name recognition standpoint or a career accomplishment standpoint and what they've done with their messaging, nobody has gotten more out of their messaging than Vivek. You know, Trump has gone up because he keeps getting indicted. Trump's messaging hasn't changed.
True. And I think, isn't it interesting that on the GOP side, you have Vivek Ramaswamy. You have where I'm going with this. Look at all the diversity.
Yeah.
And not because of DEI, but because of highly qualified
merit
candidates who've earned it and who've, earned their space on this. Well, I don't know if they've all earned the space on the stage just yet because they have some criteria to meet, but a very diverse group.
Yes. It's amazing when you look at merit versus DEI, Vivek, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott. They're not just there by accident. They're not just there because they check off boxes. They've all, in their own way, kind of carved out a little niche for themselves, whether it might be in the future as a vice president or as a cabinet member. And then the side that claims to be diversity, equity, inclusion has Joe Biden, RFK Jr., and Gavin Newsom laying in the weeds. All white men.
How about that?
Straight white cis man, which the left apparently hates and says it's a crime to be. Fascinating how that works. 855-839-1210, the phone number. We will come back, kick off the final hour of the show. A difficult path in 2024 for a third party bid. We will explain the latest polling data and how it kind of goes in line with a big take that we had last week when we talk about the RFKs, the Youngkins, and everybody else from the No Labels Party. That's coming up after Dawn Stensland's news as we continue. Kayal and Company, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You know, my friends from QC Kinetics are helping people every single day here in the Philadelphia region and across the nation with their amazing non-surgical treatments that actually repair and restore your damaged joint tissue. QC Kinetics uses the very latest advances in regenerative medicine, taking your own body's healing agents and then concentrating them directly into the area where you're suffering, where you have that agonizing pain. It's incredible. It's non-invasive. It's an approach that helps you really take back control of your own body, relieving the pain. And maybe you're suffering in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your aching back. No invasive surgery, no harmful drugs, no steroids, no downtime. Summertime needs to be about having fun, making memories and cherishing them. Golfing, or some outings with the family and friends, hiking, sporting events, right? You got to take control now and start living pain-free again. How does that sound? Just call for a free consultation with QC Kinetics, which is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. QC Kinetics, would you just call them? 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Get ready for a merry surprise because Rescue Natural Supplements is throwing their annual Christmas in July sale. That's right. The holiday season is making a summer comeback, and they're bringing the gift of huge savings. That means all health supplements will be slashed up to 50, 60, even 70% off site-wide. We're talking about savings on heart-healthy omega-3s, pain-relieving anti-inflammatories, natural immunity boosters, and much more. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. Again, don't miss Rescue's Christmas in July sale. Get savings up to 70% off all natural solutions for your highs and lows, from high blood pressure or cholesterol to low energy or testosterone. Rescue's got you covered. Hurry on over and unwrap the joy of a healthier you.
The day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the new electric XC40 lease for as low as $487. An absolutely fabulous offer, $487. No sales tax for New Jersey residents. Monies due at signing are license fees and the first month's payment only. This is an incredible offer. Considering the electric XC40, now is the time. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo online or in person for a great selection. Our team looks forward to seeing you very soon.
Rich Cioli this afternoon, 3 till 7. Kayal and Company now on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
He's got a problem
Kayal and Company, 9:02. Welcome back in for the final hour here on this Monday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Live on the free Odyssey app. Watch us on YouTube. We'll get to Dawn's Big 3 at 9 coming up here in a couple of minutes. Morning Mystery Movie Clip at 9:20. Circa 2015. Just a little preview to that. We got a great gift to give away this week. Little gift card action. So we'll tell you about that coming up at 9:20. What's on the cut sheet part 2, who won Twitter today, and what's on tap for the Dawn Show, all still on the way. 855-839-1210. Also, a story involving a Lowe's worker. We'll get to that. And also, DEI hires being laid off. And the left is starting to panic, so says the Wall Street Journal. Get to that as we continue as well. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. Dorenzo sent me this during the commercial. So this has to be a little bit old because it's a screenshot of a story that Tucker Carlson was talking about when he was still on Fox News. And the picture, okay, now Dorenzo is saying it's a joke as far as cancel culture goes, because I thought for a second that Snickers rebranded their candy bar where they remove kind of the ribbed rising of the chocolate in the middle of the candy bar. But apparently Dorenzo is saying it's a joke. So, Dorenzo, don't send me any more jokes. Because if Snickers...
Can we stop getting our news from social media, please? Like,
Can
seriously.
we stop getting our news from Twitter?
Seriously, stop getting our news from social media.
It would not surprise me, though, right? The world we live in, that candy bars are being altered because people are bothered by something. Like, that's probably the next thing that we're going to go down the path of. So, it's on Twitter if you want to look at it. Apparently, it is fake.
Can we just get our news from Dawn?
Yes, we can. Because we can't get it from the Inquirer anymore, or the Washington Post, or the New York Times.
Sin.
It really is. It's the death of journalism in many ways, because a lot of these publications nowadays are just left-wing advocacy groups that basically pander and shill for the Democrats. And that's the way it is. 855-839-1210. Speaking of Democrats, we did a story last week on the Big Take, a two-parter. And the second part of one of the big takes that we did was no factor, and that is this whole third-party idea with, the no labels party. So Monmouth University has a poll out, and I want to give you some of these numbers and figures and their key takeaways here. But they say the following, just a little bit of a little setup to this story. In a contrast between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, more voters say they won't vote for either candidate than say they will. This does not mean, however, that the American electorate is on board with a third-party presidential ticket for 2024. The Monmouth University poll finds support for an alternative drops when the premise moves from a generic bipartisan ticket to one where actual candidates are named. The presence of a third party in the race would siphon votes from both major parties' nominees, but it is not apparent that it would play the role of a spoiler, which is what I said in the Big Take last week, at least in a hypothetical situation. In a Biden-Trump rematch, just under half of registered voters say they will either definitely, 36%, or probably 11%, vote for the Democratic incumbent. And 4 in 10 will definitely, 26%, or probably 14%, support the Republican. Majorities, though, say they will not vote for either Biden or Trump. These results are statistically similar with poll results from 2 months ago. Quote, in a replay of the 2020 election, some voters clearly feel they have to back a candidate they don't really like. That suggests there may be an opening for a third party in 2024, but when you drill down further, there doesn't seem to be enough defectors to make that a viable option, said Patrick Murray, director of the independent Monmouth University Polling Institute. He goes on to say, at this point, 3 in 10 Americans say they would entertain voting for a third-party fusion ticket comprised of a Democrat and a Republican. Now, support for a third-party ticket drops even lower when names of possible candidates are introduced into the equation. We have mentioned RFK Jr. You have heard other names thrown out like Joe Manchin, Virginia Senator, and Republican former Utah Governor John Huntsman. So they go on through this thing, and this really just kind of encapsulates what I was talking about last week. And I know a lot of people start floating out the name Joe Manchin, and there's reports out there that Joe Manchin is weighing his options. And we've been kind of talking about it from the standpoint of, okay, who's able to siphon votes away from Trump? Who's able to siphon votes away from Joe Biden? And while it feels like now more than ever, there's a market for a third party, again, once again, who's that face? Who's that voice? Where's the money come from? Because I've been hearing the same thing for years in the world of news media. Oh, there's a market for just a straight down the middle news moderate network. Yet here's what we have. We have CNN that does left wing and they stink. MSNBC does left wing better than CNN and is the ratings leader. And then News Nation is, somewhere in third place on the left side of media. And then on the right, you have Fox News and you have Newsmax and I think you have OAN. There's no such thing as middle of the road news media coverage. So we can sit here and claim, oh, there's a market for it. Well, don't you think there would be a network with it by now if they felt like it was profitable and there was enough viewers and enough advertisers to jump in there? And maybe there's enough advertisers in there to spend money, but where's your viewership coming from? We hear this. It's like I keep hearing it, but it never seems to come to fruition. Why is that?
You raise a lot of good points, and that is even for anybody post-pandemic with this economy, Fed expected to raise rates again this week by 0.25%. We're all feeling the effects of an economy that just is just going downward, and we feel it. And so I think Americans are looking for that third-party candidate just to get rid of the baggage, just out of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think that's an anti-Trump, for example. I just think people are yearning for a new fresh face and a new chapter.
Well, to your point with exhaustion, if let's just say you're somebody that pays attention to both sides of the salacious headlines, Joe Biden is equally exhausting.
Yes.
If you've been paying attention and you don't have your head in the sand. I mean, the Hunter Biden stuff, the laptop stuff, Joe, Ukraine, bribes. I mean, every bit is exhausting. So both guys are always back page tabloid material. And I guess some of that comes with the territory, right? You're the president of the United States in the social media era that we live in. You're always going to be one click away from, being a big story. But Joe Biden is incredibly exhausting. He's so exhausting, he exhausts himself, which is why he falls asleep half the time with President Herzog. By the way, the Babylon Bee had a great parody story about how doctors are impressed with Joe's sleeping without his CPAP machine. And there's the picture of him sitting with Herzog as he's half asleep in the chair.
Oh, my God.
Hysterical story if you want to check it out. Thank God the Babylon Bee is back. Now we just got to bring Tony B back.
Yeah, right?
Right?
It's unbelievable. I don't understand. What did he do?
It's amazing. The Babylon Bee literally got shut down. And Elon Musk brought them back, yet they don't bring Bruno back.
He obviously retweeted something that triggered them, but it's just bizarre to me.
I know.
I don't get it.
All right, 855-839-1210 if you would like to jump in.
By the way, Robert on the YouTube chat is listening to us I guess he's getting new tires in.
Oh.
And I guess the person sitting next to him just shook his head when he heard he was listening to Kayal Company.
Oh, so he's listening to that station.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Make sure you check your tire bill. He's gonna inflate your price.
Hopefully, you went to United Tire because they are a great advertiser on this program, and I'm sure if you asked them to, they would put us up on their in their waiting room.
Yeah.
But if it was another one of those fugazi tire places,
right?
Then,
Fugazi tire places.
Ask the guy at the tire place if you can hook up your phone to the Bluetooth in the establishment and just.
Can you imagine?
Broadcast the whole show.
I would love that.
That'd be great.
Seriously, my husband went to one of those Fugazi tire places. Do you know that the car was acting funny, driving funny? So he pulled over on the turnpike, and here they hadn't put the wheel back on properly. It could have been a fatal accident.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. It freaked me out.
Wow.
Absolutely.
No, I'm really serious.
Don't
go to
name
somebody you trust. No, I'm not naming
Don't
the
name
other
the place, but that's why you need to go to United Tires or someplace that you trust.
I was scared of blowing a tire yesterday riding my bike. Got all these advices and pieces of advice and tips. Make sure when you go across the train tracks, you go in a straight path because these tracks will eat your tire up in a nanosecond.
By the way, going back to that third-party poll by Monmouth University.
Yep.
Do we buy that poll?
They're reputable. They are considered.
I get it.
It's a snapshot.
And again, we're always quick to throw when it's stuff we don't agree with. It's like, well, polling, we don't trust polling.
Take it with a grain of salt.
But when it's polls we agree with, they're like, see, look, polling.
Well, but that was my take last week on the Big Take, I think on Wednesday, where I said, the factors for 2024 are the indictments with Trump, the news and the weaponization of the Biden DOJ. And the back end of the Big Take was what is not a factor to me is these ideas of no labels party, third party. Like Joe, does Joe Manchin galvanize anybody? Does Joe Manchin resonate with America right now? It's like, I think the average person probably never heard of the guy.
Exactly. If more people knew what he stood for, I think, yes, I think he could get a lot of middle-of-the-road Democrats, middle-of-the-road Republicans. Yes, I do think he could peel off enough votes from both Trump and Biden to make some sort. Could he win? No. But I think he could peel off enough votes to make a difference, sure.
Could you see him running as a Democrat in 28?
That's a great question.
And he's a more appealing option for more Americans than Gavin Newsom.
I think the Democratic Party is the Gavin Newsom. I see 28. I see Josh Shapiro running actually.
Wow, look at you! A take like that at 9:13, and Fetterman is his VP.
No.
It's the Pete from.
No, but I definitely think Governor Josh Shapiro, especially if he can pull out a win with the issue with this budget right now that's still at an impasse after he promised the vouchers. If he can somehow figure this out and bring it home, but I do think that weighs heavily on him because he does have presidential ambition.
You know what's interesting, too, about the third party stuff is that everybody always claims, you know what, if there was a third party, I would really vote for that third party. But when it really comes down to crunch time, when it really comes down to it, they're going to vote for either a Republican or a Democrat. Yeah. I mean, a few will, but it's never going to be a substantial enough amount to.
People always go back to their old habits.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Well, that's why it's critical. You just what you said about Biden and the Democrats is spot on, Nick, because the truth is that right now that's why the media, everybody has to say if you vote R, you're a racist, you're a misogynist, you're pro that
you
know
hate
what I mean?
everything under the sun.
Yeah. And so that's why they have to do that to get a sliver of the country to go, well, I can't vote R because they're racist and they're terrible and evil.
And God forbid I share that on Facebook. They will come after me like I joined the Taliban. It's unbelievable. It's deplorables. I agree. 855-839-1210, 9:15 Monday morning. Time for some news and Dawn Stensland's Big 3 at 9.
It's the Big 3 at 9 on Kayal and Company.
And we are sponsored in the Big 3 at 9 by Rhino Shield. So headline in the New York Post that I'll headline for you, phone a friend. It says Hunter Biden put then VP dad on the phone with business associates more than 24 times. This is according to one of his ex-business partners' testimony. So Hunter Biden, according to the testimony of this individual, would dial in his dad, who was then the vice president of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and he was on speakerphone, and he would speak call into these meetings with these overseas business partners. And this is according to the testimony that's expected before Congress.
Which completely contradicts everything Joe has ever said, that he's never had any business dealings with his son and his son's business. Now, with the phone a friend, did they ask Regis Philbin to make that phone call? Like on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Or do we poll the audience?
Phone a friend.
Yeah. Would you like to phone a friend? I'd like to call my dad in Poughkeepsie, New York.
So we're following that one for you. Hey, congratulations to newlyweds, Sixer Joel Embiid and his girlfriend, Ann DePaula, officially tying the knot, getting married over the weekend.
Time to trade his ass. Get him out.
Stop.
He's over. He got married before he got us to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, stop it.
Women, who said it? Women weaken knees. Rock. That was Burgess Meredith in Rocky 2.
There you go.
Please. His knees are just fine.
By the way, guys. Get married in the Hamptons.
Little bougie.
Is he really a Philly guy?
Yeah.
Come on.
So are we going to debate now what destinations are Philly or New York? that went over really well last week.
By the way, that got like 15,000 views on Twitter.
I know.
In a few days. Our debate about Miranda Lambert got over 22,000 views.
Yep.
So anyway, no, the Hamptons, really?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well,
yeah, it's not the knees that are a problem with Joel Embiid. It's his heart that I question.
He couldn't have.
How about that?
How about like the Grand Hotel in Cape May?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Whatever Anne wanted, that's what happened. That's
right.
the
The
bottom
Hamptons,
line.
Did they go see Barbie?
saying if he wants to show his love to Philly, then get married in a Philly location, a Philly beach.
You get married in front of Pat's or Gino's.
Lovely. There's lovely beaches here. I'm just saying. You didn't have to go all the way to the Hamptons with the bougie elite.
Yep.
Well, speaking of the bougie elite in the Hamptons, let's talk about, and this is a little gossipy, but former CNN boss Jeff Zucker and anchor Allison Camerata are just old friends despite raising eyebrows by holding hands. So this one has gone viral. The pair looked quite comfortable. It's being reported by the Daily Mail. Looked quite comfy together as they were seen leaving a brunch hosted by Don Lemon in the Hamptons.
Dawn, you better keep your mouth closed.
So Allison, she's married with 3 kids, but was seen smiling, walking hand in hand with Zucker.
Yeah, I'm not sure friends hold hands in that setting. So I would venture to say probably a little bit more than just friends.
After lunch, do you and Greg like hold hands strolling around Philly?
Yeah, we leave the Fittler Club hand in hand.
Why is everybody at CNN sleeping with one another, allegedly?
It is wild.
I know. They got a lot of horny people.
They do.
So in some work environments, you can sleep with everybody. In other work settings, if you look at somebody the wrong way, you're in HR.
Right? And ABC News, they had that whole drama. These people have a lot of they make a lot of money. They have a lot of free time. Like, we all work so hard, we have no time for anything.
Yeah,
seriously.
Jeff Zucker allegedly had an affair, right, with that CNN executive.
Yeah.
And now it appears, I mean, he's holding hands with Allison Camerata, unless they're just really good friends that hold hands together.
Holding hands? Right. Is that what we do?
Now it appears that those two might be an item. Like, can he how can I clean this phrase up for radio? Can he not evacuate where he eats? That's all I'm saying.
But he no longer eats there.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
So now he can, it's like I guess, eat all you want buffet.
It's a buffet.
Oh, my God.
And dessert, too.
Good God.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we are sponsored in the Big 3 by Rhino Shield. Can make your next paint job your last. Rhino Shield protecting your home is waterproof, affordable, and it looks great on any exterior surface. Just call our friend John Gilgee today. You'll save an incredible 20%. 844-RHINO-99. That is 844-RHINO-99. Thank you, Rhino Shield, for sponsoring our Big 3 at 9.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 9:21, it's time for the Morning Mystery Movie Clip.
And now, the Morning Mystery Movie Clip on Kayal Company. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Where you fight, anger is your biggest tool. Fighting angry, that drains you twice as fast. Yeah, the guy in the ring is your enemy, but if all you're trying to do is kill him, then you expose yourself. You leave yourself vulnerable. Gotta protect yourself. Make his mistakes be his destruction. Right now, you got 2 weapons. A shotgun and a grenade. All power, no precision. I want you to use your other arsenal. There you go, Dad.
Think you know what it is? Be call at 12 at 855-839-1210, and you could win this great prize.
How about a $50 Metro Diner gift certificate? Metro Diner has launched a Summer of Waffles, an entire season devoted to the savory, sweet breakfast classic. For 5 weeks, guests can earn a dining discount and prizes by taking a summer waffle staycation at their local Metro Diner. and ordering up an array of hot-off-the-iron treats. Visit MetroDiner.com. $50 gift certificate to the Metro Diner for caller 12 with the correct answer to that morning mystery movie clip at 855-839-1210. It came out in July 2015. See if you can get that gift card and take in a summer of waffles at the Metro Diner. Back after this.
So many listeners are enjoying beautiful, easy-to-maintain homes thanks to Rhino Shield, and you can too. Dom Giordano here with my good friend, the local owner of Rhino Shield. John, take it away.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield. For years, you've heard about our exclusive elastomeric ceramic house paint with the unheard-of 25-year warranty. Today, I want to ask you, do you need to paint your home? Maybe even been putting it off for too long? If your answer is yes, then ask yourself, if you want to paint it one last time, or if you want to be painting it again in 5 or 6 years. Rhino Shield can make your next paint job your last. Rhino Shield is waterproof, protects your home, is affordable, and looks great on any exterior surface. Let Rhino Shield show you how you can be done with frequent painting. Call us today at 484-406-5111 for a free consultation. That's 484-406-5111.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right. TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 lifeguard protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close, or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Do you really want to take shots the rest of your life just to lose weight? NJ Diet's typical results are twice as fast as weight loss injections without any of the side effects. Plus, you learn proper portion control. You develop healthy eating habits that last you the rest of your life. By the end of NJ Diet's 40-day program, you will lose 20 to 40 plus pounds, contractually guaranteed. You will lose the weight. You will keep off the weight the natural way. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements. That's going to get your body into the fat-burning zone. Then, NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help keep the weight off. Locations throughout the East Coast are available with live online video consultations. Don't take shots the rest of your life. Lose weight quickly the natural way with NJ Diet. 855-5NJ-DIET, 855-5NJ-DIET, or schedule your consult at NJDiet.com. NJDiet.com. Lose the weight for good.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You've heard me talk with you about my friend, board-certified prosthodontist, my dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz of Bentz Dental Group in East Norriton. Dr. Bentz is nationally, locally recognized as one of the area's top prosthodontists. I stopped in to see him, showed me his 3D printer. We've talked about this before, but they have incorporated it so much in their practice. It really helps him expand his patient solutions, specialize in new ways to help you achieve your oral goals, makes it so convenient. We've talked about in one sitting and all the rest of it, some of the stuff he can do. Now more than ever, too. Local dentists, they refer their patients to him for more complex cases. He loves to be a problem solver. Call Dr. Benz at 610-272-6949. Make that appointment today. He's my dentist, my good friend. He's at your service to get your dental health back on track. Call him with any questions or make an appointment. 610-272-6949.
If you speed, there's lots of sounds you might hear, like the sound of your vehicle crashing, because eventually, speed catches up with you. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Hey, Ben Salem, tell your smart speaker play 1210 WPHT.
You should have seen by the look in my eyes, baby.
929, Kayal and Company as we roll on Monday morning. Just about 20 minutes out from what's on tap for the Dawn Show and Who on Twitter today. Cut Sheet Part 2 in less than 10 minutes. And we've got our morning mystery movie clip winner on the line. Melissa is in Delaware. Melissa, what movie did we just play for you? How are you?
Hey, good morning. It's Jake Gyllenhaal movie, Southpaw.
That's correct. Woo. Southpaw, circa 2015. Nice work, Melissa. Are you a fan of waffles?
I am a fan of waffles.
All right. Well, you've got the $50 gift card to Metro Diner for their summer of waffles. So you enjoy that gift card and get a whole bunch of breakfast, all right?
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
You got it. Melissa in Delaware, our winner this morning. More opportunities to win that gift card as we continue throughout the week here.
All week, yeah.
On Kayal and Company
Yep.
at 920.
Yep.
Nice work. All right, so from Metro Diner to Lowe's. Remember back in the day, Lowe's. Let's build something together. Now they just fire their employees for protecting their assets, which is really remarkable. But that's the common theme in this lawless society that we live in these days where, you know, corporations say, you know what, if they come to loot, if they come to riot, if anybody comes in to steal anything, let them have it. And then, oh, by the way, if it's a big city, they won't be prosecuted and they'll get no cash bail and they'll be back out and they'll do it all over again. But a Georgia Lowe's employee, God bless this lady, attempted to stop shoplifters that were making off with over $2,000 of merchandise, and it left her unemployed, and she got a black eye. Donna Hansbrough, 68 years old. So, Donna's, she's, one of these ladies probably at the point in her life where she's, just working a couple hours a week to stay busy. A lot of people retire and then they pick up a part-time job. I'm just speculating. But she's in there doing her job, and the poor lady saw 3 people loading up a shopping cart at a store in Rincon, Georgia, which is about 30 minutes north of Savannah, and then leave without paying and without stopping to pay or check out, according to police. Well, the veteran employee then grabbed onto the cart allegedly being pushed by Takia Berry, who slugged the older woman in the face 3 times, according to authorities. This reminds me of, I think it was the Home Depot story from months ago, where the poor guy tried to stop a shoplifter and ultimately died.
Yep.
And he was, I think, in intensive care in the hospital for a while before he died. So Berry, who was with her uncle, Joseph Berry, and another man, police identified as Jamar Lawton, then made off with the goods, according to the police department. Hansborough was then canned, so I am wrong on this standpoint. She was there for 13 years. I don't know, maybe she was a part-timer, but it shouldn't matter. She was canned after being there for 13 years because she violated company policy by interfering with the crooks, according to a report. Hansborough told the Effingham Herald, quote, "They say that if you see somebody stealing something out the door, not to pursue, not to go out. I lost it. I grabbed the cart. I don't actually remember going out, but I did. And I grabbed the cart that had the stolen items in it." The former store employee said she became overwhelmed by instinct, but never thought her employer would actually let her go. I didn't expect to get terminated, she told the Herald. Maybe a reprimand or a suspension. I just got tired of seeing things get out the door. I just lost it. I basically lost all the training. Everything they tell you to do, I just lost it, she says, end quote. I can't sit at home. I'm not that type of person. Hansborough now currently looking for a new job. Like, what world are we living in where not only the criminals get off lightly or maybe don't even get punished at all, but, and this is my common takeaway, like, I understand that these companies, you know, they are trying to avoid a lawsuit and they would rather just cough up the product as opposed to, but this person is, or these people, there's 3 of them, are committing a crime. Lady is 68 years old. Okay, yes, she was trained to do something different, but I personally would commend her for like, risking her life over freaking, goods and products that can easily, you only get one life. You can't replace your life. You can replace a lawnmower that gets stolen from Lowe's or whatever it might have been. But then the other part of this is these cowards punching a lady who's almost 70 years old in the face. Like, number one, you're a coward if you hit a woman, period. And number 2, 68 years old. And you give her a black eye, and then the poor lady's fired, which probably means if she needs medical treatment, now she has no insurance. It's just such a, like if you're Lowe's, and I know we're in this day and age now where, we have a lot of these boycotts for Target, for Bud Light. If you wanted to boycott Lowe's over something like this, I'd absolutely support you. Like, you're going to fire a 68-year-old lady who's been there since she's 55, who was willing to put herself out there for your freaking supplies, and that the thanks that she gets is a punch in the face, and then we'd like to wish Donna Hansborough the best in her future endeavors. And put that little email out. Really nice work, Lowe's. I think I'll go to Home Depot for that one.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's terrible. Like, and it's $2,100 in products, and I don't know if that qualifies as a misdemeanor or a felony under Georgia law, but
the criminals have won.
They won.
We might as well just throw up our hands and say, you know what?
So they committed
Take
theft.
whatever you want.
Yes, theft and assault and battery.
Yep. Do whatever you want. And you know what's funny is that when I was on vacation a few weeks ago, there's a market down there that we got all our groceries and stuff at. This kid tried to steal a bottle of booze. He put it in his waistband, tried to walk out with it, and one of the employees said, "Stop! Wait! What do you got in there?" He started to run out. She grabbed him and just held him there until the cops came, and the cops took him away.
Which I'm assuming you can still do under, like, these local mom and pop establishments that probably don't have these policies put in place. But all of these big time corporations now are just saying it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth any whatever. Just let them go.
But if you're a criminal and you know that there's an employee or somebody or security guard, whatever, that's in that establishment that's going to stop you from doing that, maybe that'll make you think twice about doing it.
Yeah, it's a deterrent. Absolutely.
But if they're just going to throw up their hands and say, hey, take whatever you want because I don't want to lose my job.
Yeah. And the criminals aren't stupid. I mean, we're at the point now where they know that they've got the benefit of the doubt, and they know a lot of these, like you go into a Walgreens or a Target, we give you those stories out in the Bay Area on the West Coast. It's so bad that they're locking up personal hygiene products with chains.
Yeah.
I just think the lady that you're talking about who was fired.
Yeah, Donna Hansbrough.
I think Donna is going to lawyer up, and she's going to have a lawsuit.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, that's where all of this is going.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll win because she'll say, like, they put me in danger or they judged me or shamed me for following my instincts.
Right. Although I got to imagine, like, these, and I don't know how much it'll hold up in a court of law, but I got to imagine these corporations, when they hire you, they probably now have it in writing where you, like, your onboarding process, you sign something that says, in the event of theft, our policy is you do not stop the suspect,
That's ridiculous.
No matter what you see. And you got to sign off on that. And then I don't know if you have a right to a claim, but, as he always says, there will be lawyers and they'll figure it out and they'll get their cut.
By the way, for those of you who tune in later in the program, Nick, since you started off at 6 a.m. with this, can you show the YouTube viewers your medal?
How about
that
this?
You got for?
Yeah. How about that? You see that, YouTubers right there?
Look at that.
Like Kurt Angle, circa 2005.
Yep. Very nice.
It's true.
It's very
damn true.
So you got a participation trophy.
No, I got a completion trophy.
Ooh.
I don't think you get the medal if you don't cross the finish line. I finished.
Okay. Yeah. That's great. You get a trophy now for finishing.
Yes, that's correct. Some men can't do that, or they finish too soon. All right.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying. It's you got a participation trophy.
I got to tell you.
Are you gonna wear that around like?
No. This will just go like in a cabinet or on the wall or something.
I got to say, I have a. We didn't get when I did the ride. We didn't get the medals. We just got a little thing you can stick on your refrigerator that says 65 miles.
A little magnet.
So it's a nice. It's a nice conversation piece around the Stalker house. I put it up there and be like, oh, what does 65 miles mean? It's like, well. It's interesting you ask. I completed, for charity, a 65-mile bike race. I went from the Ben Franklin Bridge in Philadelphia to the New Jersey shore.
Which, by the way, I think you have to do this again next year. And in fact, and I want Zioli in as well. Even if he wants to do
Mr.
to do 30, he can do 30 miles. He can go from Hamilton.
He might need another 2.5 weeks off because he might injure something and he might need
end up in surgery.
There are people that were riding yesterday that were towing other human beings.
I know.
So,
I saw.
So if you can,
I saw.
Like I had trouble doing carrying myself, and these people are carrying two other people like in like a little back little wagon.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
I will commit to you that I will think about doing it next year.
I'll think about it this February, Nick. All right, 9:40 on the dot. Let's get to what's on the cut sheet part due.
What's on the cut sheet?
Part due. What's on the cut sheet part due on this Monday is sponsored by Holland Floor Covering. Holland Floor Covering is the region's premier flooring dealer. Family operated for over 50 years, providing exceptional service and professional installation. Visit their 2 showrooms in Wayne and Newtown. No charge samples, no obligation estimates. Learn more at Holland, HOLLAND floor.com. That's hollandfloor.com. Check them out today. Tell them you heard about it on Kayal and Company, 1210 WPHT. Remember, it is imperative that everybody listening right now, watching, viewing, listening on the app, patronizes all of our sponsors because they are risking their careers by advertising on this radio show.
The 2 most important P's to Stalker are pandering and patronizing.
Thank you very much. I got this from TikTok. A trans activist says cis people, I guess that's us, cis people, should do errands and give money to trans people to help with the burden of life.
Oh, I just give you more money. Okay.
So I guess we just need to pay them and help them because of life.
I should have a bigger mortgage because your credit sucks, and I should have to pay off your student debt since I paid off mine since you're getting a bailout.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
There we go.
If you're cis, I want you to message the trans person in your life and ask them what is one thing that you can do to lighten their load this week. Whether that be grocery shopping, folding laundry, doing dishes. Ask the trans people in your life if there's a task or something that you can offer them to help with the burden that we're carrying, because we're having to deal with all of this stuff right now while having to deal with all of the life stuff that we regularly deal with. And the regular life stuff that we deal with is life stuff. And then there's transphobia and living as a trans person in the world. And then there's what's going on right now, which is all of that combined. And then send that trans person $5 so they can get themselves a treat.
Okay, Load Lightner. Wow. Let's have a little conversation here. So I should give my money to you as you are dealing with the burden that you put upon yourself to go through with whatever you're going through as you advertise your breakdown on TikTok. So should I just Venmo you that or PayPal it to you? Which one is more trans friendly? God. And by the way, I don't know, was that a guy becoming a girl, whatever? But they got the overalls on. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
That's a different look. And normally
that's an odd look.
It's usually purple hair, nose ring, glasses, and the overalls.
Yep.
Look like Hillbilly Jim, the old wrestler.
Oh boy, another right.
And by the way, what is your burden exactly?
Life is tough. No crap.
You have to support your kids and make dinner and do your full-time job.
Yes.
And
you know what
do the laundry and do the lawn work and whatever. Like, what do you need help with? Why don't you come to my house?
Yeah.
You can mow my dang lawn for me.
Right. Remember back in the day when your parents would say, enjoy being a kid because when you become an adult, life gets difficult? I don't think they either got that message or they did get the message, and when they realized that life is different when you become an adult, like they couldn't handle that.
I think the message here is that Dawn needs somebody to mow her lawn.
I know.
How'd you like to mow my lawn?
No, Michael did mow the lawn.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Give him a medal.
Oh, my Lord.
No, but these individuals are, think about that.
You know how many lawns I mowed by the time I was his age? A ton.
No, he does.
Okay.
He did it.
Speaking of lawns and mowing, when are you going to mow that thing on your face?
I'm not going to.
I think you should keep it, actually. I think a lot of people were talking about it yesterday.
No, really?
They ever say the stalker with the beard's a good move?
Oh, wait. I have something. I need new headphones. I think it looks like a giant cancerous mole on the side of my neck. It's not. It's a piece of my headphones.
Yeah, when they start,
Yeah.
you start.
Yeah, people were wondering if I was going to get skin cancer yesterday because I got torched in the sun yesterday.
And you didn't wear sunscreen?
No, I didn't. Normally, I don't wear it when I play golf. So I just figured yesterday at starting a bike ride at 7 a.m. that I wasn't going to get it. I mean, I had a helmet on.
Do you have a death wish?
I do, actually.
You need to wear sunscreen.
Yeah. Yesterday I got it, but I think I got out of the sun.
You have a giant bald head that shines.
I was wearing a helmet. My head was covered.
I know, but your head looks red.
It does.
My blood pressure's up.
Okay.
And your nose. You got a little too much sun on your nose.
The schnoz, that's going to be a tough spot for me.
While Nick was pedaling 65 miles to the shore yesterday, all the elite were at the Aspen Security Forum. Did you get invited to the Aspen Security Forum, Nick?
No, but I think Lloyd and Harry were at the Aspen.
Alejandro Mayorkas said this was one of his first actions as Secretary of Homeland Security. This is cut 16, Daniel.
We in the Department of Homeland Security, I issued a memo very early on that we would not use the term illegal alien.
Or crisis.
When speaking of these individuals, we use the term non-citizen.
Non-citizen. So our borders are open, and we have record number of people coming in, but we can't call them illegal aliens anymore, so job well done.
Yeah, this guy's a clown. Totally in over his head. Obviously refuses to mention the word crisis. That's almost as bad as what Major League Baseball did with the rebranding of a phrase. I don't know if you saw this. In Major League Baseball now, you're no longer on the disabled list. You're on the injured list because disabled implies you have a disability. That's awesome. The world we live in now.
That is awesome.
Just change everything.
I did hear that. I did see that, but that is,
losers.
It is. You are.
Imagine living that life. Like, hey, my job accomplishment this week was, you know what? Disabled implies a negative connotation on somebody's inability to do something. So let's rebrand it. That's your job.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy was on Face of the Nation with Margaret Brennan over the weekend. We played a clip earlier where he called Kamala Harris an icon. They discussed other things, not just the iconic status of Kamala Harris, but they also talked about transition surgery for minors, and this is what he said. It's the right thing to do to keep parents from knowing that if their kids are showing signs of transitioning. Phil Murphy on Face of the Nation yesterday.
Good morning to you, Mr. Governor. I want to pick up on some of the things we just discussed there, including
Oh, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, like, he is just so awkward with the teeth. And
I was just
hair
gonna say
and
that. Like, what's up with, like, the bottom lip is very thick.
It's pursed.
Yes.
Yes.
And the top lip kind of drops in under the bottom lip, like it's like a.
Yeah. Yep. And he has the hair going. It's all kind of mussed up, so he looks like he's been beach weathered or
He
something.
looks like an unmade bed. What a schlub. This is the best New Jersey has.
Well,
I mean, for God's sake.
we have
Sloppy Chris Christie.
we in PA have John Fetterman. So.
Yeah, well, that's true. Murphy looks like a runway model compared to Fetterman.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I know they don't hold the same job. I'm just saying we're talking about representatives from the states. Okay, he continues.
When it comes to transgender care in your state, because I know your administration has sued 3 New Jersey school districts for adopting policies to tell parents if their children are showing signs of changing their gender identity. Why is Mr. Christie wrong when he says parents are the ones who know best here, and they should be involved?
With you, let me say unequivocally, I will not be going to chrischristie.com. Listen, we took these actions.
Wow, his jokes just.
Is that the Ukraine lapel on his jacket?
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. That's a standard item for Democratic wardrobes.
Sorry.
Because it's the right thing to do to protect these precious young people. This is a complete culture war. And by the way, Chris Christie was really bad for the LGBTQIA plus community, and he underfunded public education by $9 billion with a B dollars. So with all due respect to the governor, I'm not sure he's got much of a leg to stand on. But parents are always involved. It's certainly in our administration. They're always at the table, and they always will be. But let's be smart about this. Let's protect the rights of these precious kids. Let's do things the right way, the American way. And I think if we do that in a spirit of respecting everyone's rights, protecting the LGBTQIA plus community, we'll land in a good place.
Well, one of the attorneys for a school board in Marlboro, one of these districts, said that this blocking of a school counselor or a staff member from telling a parent about this is a violation of a constitutional right for a parent to direct and control the upbringing of their children. Why isn't that compelling?
Obviously, parents are the existential reality in the upbringing of any child, without question. I don't deny that for 1 second. But let's not violate the constitutional and civil rights of precious young folks, in many cases, who are coming to grips with life and as they grow up and grow older. Let's be respectful of that. Let's be all in this together, as opposed to this us versus them, this demonizing. And when that happens, invariably, it's the LGBT community that gets, particularly trans folks, who get behind the 8 ball.
Well, with all due respect, see, this is where you should ask the follow-up question. As a female anchor, at least I believe, Dawn, if I'm speaking out of turn, you please tell me. But as a female anchor in that spot right there, I would say you're talking about respecting and protecting the rights and the civil liberties of everybody. So is that at the expense of the rights of biological females? So the trans rights and civil liberties supersede biological female rights.
Yeah.
That's what we're implying here.
Yeah.
So then we're not treating everybody equally,
Absolutely.
as Mr. Murphy says.
I think it's significant that the way that she asked the question, that he kind of stumbled around.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because he knows in his heart this is not right.
Right.
And he's pandering, and it's not authentic to me.
I know.
One more.
Which makes it worse.
Margaret Brennan asked, if you're a green governor, why are you suing the Department of Transportation for cutting back pollution? Margaret Brennan's question to Phil Murphy.
8 ball.
I want to ask you about what's happening in your state, but you are also a Biden surrogate, and yet you decided this week to sue the Biden Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Association to stop something called congestion pricing, which is meant to cut back on pollution and traffic by charging drivers when they enter Lower Manhattan. A lot of people in your state commute there. If you are a green governor, how can you oppose this policy that was signed off on by the Biden administration?
First of all, I support Joe Biden unequivocally. We do so much together On this one, we don't see it the same way. And at the end of the day, the buck stops with me for standing up for the residents of our state. Secondly, this will worsen pollution in New Jersey. Congestion pricing, the MTA in New York City has admitted it. This is a financial fix more than it is an environmental fix. And the loser here right now are New Jersey commuters and New Jersey communities. And I will not let that stand. We have, in fact, filed a suit against the Federal Highway Administration. God willing, we can land in a good place. And it's not like we don't have good bona fides, Margaret. We have the number one, since we got here 6 years running, the number one environmental track record of any state in America. We care deeply about it. This is bad for the environment in New Jersey, not good for it.
If it's bad for the environment, then tell me why the MTA said that the 4,000-page environmental assessment was supervised at every stage and specifically approved by the Biden administration. The governor of New York says this thing is happening. Environmentalists have studied it.
Yeah, not so fast, with all due respect. They took a shortcut at the Federal Highway Administration. What they should have done with us at the table, given how this impacts New Jersey, and this is what we're suing for, is to do what they call a full-blown environmental impact study. Now, it may take a while, but it's worth it. And at the end of the day, listen, if we had had the 2 new rail tunnels built under the Hudson River, which, by the way, Chris Christie canceled, or if we had the shiny new Port Authority bus terminal, which, again, he dragged his feet on, we'd be in a different place. Our commuters would have alternatives. Those alternatives finally are coming to pass, but it'll take a while longer.
Is he admitting there that that cars aren't the problem?
Yes. You're right.
I also love the Biden surrogate
We need more
comment.
studies. We need more studies. Help, help, help.
Is he going to have whose approval rating will be lower when they exit New Jersey? This guy or Christie?
I don't know, man. They love them some Murphy.
I don't know. He was booed at the beach in his own hometown. Remember?
No, I get it, but I don't know, man. They reelected him.
Oh God.
Again.
All right.
Just saying.
By the way, Joe Biden's in the chat and he says, "Greg, you look cute today."
Oh, thank you, Joe.
He's probably going to
appreciate
try
it.
to sniff you through the YouTubes.
Yes.
All right. 9:54. We find out what's on tap for the Dawn Show today.
Yeah, we're going to update you. Of course, there's a lot developing this morning. Right at about 10:03, we have Tom Nichols in studio. He's coming in to break down his piece, his latest piece on dignity, courage, and the church, the trends with gay and lesbians in the Catholic Church. We hear more and more about these stories, so we'll hear from Tom Nichols. He'll break it down for us. And then our friend Anthony Hennon of Center Square, he returns. He covers a plethora of issues across Pennsylvania, including the Pennsylvania budget. So we'll bring you the latest on that one. There's a whole lot going on. And is aloe vera, does it cause cancer?
Uh-oh.
What's up with this latest medical news and aloe vera?
So I go with no sunblock and I get sunburn, I'll get skin cancer. But then when I get sunburn and I go home and I put aloe on, I'm going to get cancer anyway.
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
It was just a tease.
All right. It was a good tease by you. Got me fired up. So the audience is fired up as well, I
Yeah,
would imagine.
Hunter Biden, love all the Hunter. We'll make fun of Hunter.
Beautiful.
Pedophiles.
Okay.
Little pedophile segment.
boy.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Pedophile segment.
Yes.
Great.
Greg Stocker, who won Twitter today?
Who won
Who
Twitter?
on Twitter, sponsored by Wawa. I'm going to give it to Rich Cassie Jr. He says, Greg Stocker is the only one I know who preaches social media sucks, then begs folks to follow social media. Yes, I know. I'm a walking contradiction.
It's
I
beautiful.
Get it. I get it. I
It's
understand.
beautiful.
Rich Cassie Jr. for pointing out the fact that I suck. You in Twitter today. Wawa's new rechargers are energy drinks for everyday doers, whether you're going out or staying in. Power through your day with a new handcrafted ice or frozen Wawa recharger. Gotta have a Wawa. Thank you, Wawa, for sponsoring Who on Twitter on this Monday.
All right, that'll do it for us on a Monday. Stay tuned. The Dawn Show is coming up next. We're back tomorrow morning at 6. If you thought today was great,
ain't seen nothing yet.